Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto becomes the strongest Hollow Part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for Part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. Macabre entrails and mutilated corpses splattered on the dilapidated walls. The ravaging inferno engulfed the capital with its hazardous flames. The midnight sky was smothered with charred flakes and smoke. Horrified screams reverberated throughout the decimated city. There was a demolished courtyard with an inauspicious pyramid composed of decapitated carcasses. A silhouette stood atop. The malignant entity, with a dynamic physique, was garbed in a tattered kimono blemished with bloodstains. He held a nefarious odachi that emanated a palpable aura of malevolence that encompassed its wielder. The blade was soaked in a bloodbath, and its fearsome spirits desired for carnage. The entity sheathed his weapon in stylish grace and chuckled at depravity. Godai 13, huh? I find it amusing to know how easily it falls. Yamamoto Genryosai Shigekuni, the chief commander who proclaimed to be unsurpassable amongst his reign, glared menacingly at the atrocious adversary. Uzumaki Naruto, I finally found you. I would not allow you to slay any more of my comrades. Tonight I shall end you and the heinous crimes you have committed. Naruto guffawed sinisterly as he smirked at the Soul Reaper, his distorted voice echoed with nonchalance. And me? That's what all these dead people said before I see through the last minute of their pathetic life. Shigekuni essayed the barbaric entity. His apathetic gaze, a nebulous difference between conceit and immorality, illuminated diabolically. His angular features were perfect, and he kept a wild mane styled in a ponytail. Naruto vanished in a sonic resonance before he reappeared behind the Soul Reaper. You claim to be guardian of this realm. But you and I know the truth. You founded this primitive organization just for you to slaughter in the name of twisted justice. Silence. I don't want to hear this nonsense coming from that mouth of yours. You're a monster, Uzumaki. And a monster must be put down to sleep. Shigekuni drew his blade and recited a mantra in a monotone. Reduce all creations to dust. Naruto was unfazed as a burst of gluttonous wildfire disintegrated the terrain into ashes. The blonde folded his arms and he grinned tauntingly. How scary. But it is time for you to face facts. You know it well, old man. You just can't handle the truth. After all, only a monster would understand how a monster feels. Face it. You're nothing but a monster too, old man. Ryujin Jaka. Shigekuni announced furiously before he readied a battle stance. Tonight, one of us shall stand, one of us shall fall. I'm not gonna fall. Naruto drew his blade swiftly and a rippling shockwave dispersed the malicious flames, much to Shigekuni's stupefaction. You can feel it, can't you? Ryujin Jaka is sentient. It knows fear when it encounters a foe much stronger than itself. Your sword reflects no resolve, just meaningless fear. The Soul Reaper stared questioningly at his quavering arm and was unsettled. He heaved a sigh and swung his sword. Do not sow discord between me and Ryujin Jaka, you fiend. Ryujin Jaka knows no fear. Naruto smirked. Is that so? Let's put that statement to the test, shall we? Flames with potent intensity enveloped both Shigekuni and Naruto, imprisoning them in the process. Jakaka Enjo. Fortress Blaze. Oh? You intend to trap us in here, huh? It's not gonna make a difference. I am the executioner. You're gonna die here, old-timer. We'll see. The Soul Reaper roared as he charged towards his nemesis before swinging his sword, encased with lethal fire, ferociously. You will be destroyed, Uzumaki Naruto. Let's get wild, shall we? Without hesitation, Naruto brought his odachi down, clashing against the oppressing assailant. Upon impact, a cataclysmic explosion occurred. The blonde snickered with devious joy as his free appendage morphed into a demonic talon. Shigekuni was startled as the blonde pierced his elongated claw into the concrete ground and instantaneously, a multitude of devastating spikes erupted from the ground. The Soul Reaper retreated as he skidded away to a stop. Naruto retracted his serpentine arm and licked his lips. Cementerio Titan. Titan's Graveyard, it is the name of the attack that your kind has fallen prey to. It absorbs both the nutritious energy and biomass of my victim, enhancing my vitals and strength. A cool parlor trick, isn't it? Shigekuni growled in sheer umbrage. I will kill you and bring peace to Soul Society, Uzumaki Naruto. I swear it upon the name of those you have murdered. Sweet vengeance ain't that sweet when you can't get a little taste of it, huh? Naruto's eyes radiated crimson effulgence, and his pupil expanded into a pictorial shuriken. The Soul Reaper's curiosity was piqued as he caught glimpses of the anomalous changes of his antagonist's eyes. You make a mistake of looking into my eyes. Lagrima diosa. Goddess's terror, Shigekuni's reality crumbled as he found himself in a monochromatic universe, and he was crucified on an enormous cross. What is this? Naruto materialized before the restrained Soul Reaper and smiled in an iniquitous glee. This is my world. I am the absolute ruler in this world. Every second, every minute, every hour, I dictate everything. I will force you to watch how I massacre your subordinates while I stab you with this blunt katana. I wonder how long you can endure this torment, Yamamoto Genryusai Shigekuni. Shigekuni struggled to extricate from his predicament to no avail. Stop. There is no way you can escape this torture. Don't you understand? It is futile. The blonde smirked as he plunged his blade into the Soul Reaper's abdomen and chortled sadistically at the affliction he has caused. Shigekuni grunted in agony while he saw morbid visions of his comrades butchered and eradicated by the inhumane Naruto. How does it feel to see how I exterminate your kind? Enjoying the spectacular scene, The blonde chuckled as the Soul Reaper writhed in anguish. We're having fun here, aren't we? Time seemed to stagnate for eternity as Shigekuni withstood against his plight. When his excruciating torment had ended, the Soul Reaper's breaths were labored as his sight jarred. He collapsed into a knee and gritted his teeth. To think that only a few seconds have passed in the real world, just what kind of power was that? He infiltrated my mind and disrupted my nervous system. I have to step up my game. Let's end this escapade, shall we? 0. Naruto pointed a finger with a lax attitude at Shigekuni, and an abundance of shimmering globes manifested before the blonde. A static tune blared as a barrage of disastrous beams was fired at the Soul Reaper. The vicinity suffered a myriad of catastrophic explosions. I guess I overdid it again. Naruto dusted his attire and spun around. I expected more than just a little harmless fire. Your instinct yearns to bathe in the blood of your enemy, but you hold it back. Your days as the boss of this place have made you soft. I guess I have overestimated you. I'm not done yet. Shigekuni, who resuscitated himself through willpower, appeared behind Naruto, much to the blonde's chagrin. Reacting to impulse, the blonde sidestepped the anticipated assault and leaped away. Persistent, are we? Naruto smiled as he applauded mockingly. As expected of the head captain of the Godai 13, you're scary. You are able to fight, even after you have gone through that mental torture. Any ordinary weakling would have his or her brain liquefied. It's truly commendable for someone of your stature. So let's call it quits, shall we? I won't stop until I have your head. Shigekuni exclaimed in abhorrence. His torso was severely burned and his gait was unsteady. That's too bad. The blonde yawned as the ground shook in terrifying tremors. I'm bored of this place. I did have fun though. However, my presence is corroding this place. Look! Shigekuni stared warily at the sky and gawked. The impenetrable barrier that shielded Siriidii was deteriorating and visible cracks were formed. Naruto shook his head disapprovingly. That barrier that protects Siriidii is collapsing. If I stay here any longer, you should know what would happen. Besides, I haven't even released all of my powers yet. If I do that, my spirit energy will crush this place. After all, I am the god of all hollows. The Soul Reaper hoisted his blade. You think you can just barge into our realm, do whatever you want and leave like this? I don't think it. I know it. Naruto smirked and gave the infuriated Shigekuni an offending finger. With a snap of his fingers, a dimensional portal tore through the atmosphere. We will meet again. And next time we meet, it will be over for you. Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto stepped on the soft dunes of Hueco Mundo and surveyed the Sirocco night, his odachi stashed on his belt. He ambled through the desert and encountered a legion of cannibalistic hollows roaming around his territory. The blonde promptly ignored the monstrosities and navigated his way stealthily through a tenebrous cavern. He snuck a glance vigilantly at his environment, ensuring no hostility near the vicinity before he strolled into the cave. The blonde halted in his tracks abruptly and sniffed the distinctive perfume in the atmosphere. Looking for something? A feminine voice rang. Naruto instinctively ducked a deadly strike before his hideout erupted in a series of deafening explosions. The blonde leaped out from the debris and hovered in the atmosphere. Dusting his attire, Naruto sighed. That isn't nice. I didn't know you bloodthirsty enough to hunt me down in my own turf. That takes guts, Soul Reaper. The statuesque woman, garbed in a ragged robe that exposed her cleavage and an oversized coat with her division's insignia emblazoned on the back of the white fabric, sheathed her sword. She had a bewitching pair of blue eyes and an ethereal beauty, yet the deranged aura she exuded was palpable. The Captain Commander has already issued your death warrant. I'm just carrying out an order, that's all. I hate to cut down a babe such as you, but you're driving a hard bargain. Naruto quipped as he stretched his hands. You know, it is my principle not to fight the opposite sex, but I'll make an exception for you. What do you say? A fiddle of gold against your soul says I'm better than you. I am the Shodai Kenpachi, Yuichiro Unohana. The title is bestowed to the strongest Soul Reaper. The dark-haired woman flexed her wrist, and the mountain behind the blonde was cleaved into half. The desert shook in terrorizing quakes as an avalanche was triggered. Yuichiro unleashed her overwhelming spiritual pressure, and her eyes illuminated in ominous azure. Remember my name and die knowing that your life is forfeited to me, lowly scum. Naruto clutched his chest and feigned hurt. Ouch, that really hurts my feeling. But I never expect the strongest assassin of Soul Society turns out to be a babe. I have heard about your notoriety as a villain. Your reputation precedes you, goddess of death. I have always wanted to spar with someone like you. Without hesitation, the fearsome Kenpachi charged ruthlessly at the blonde in astounding velocity. You want to know what your mistake is? An apparition of the Archangel of Death, wielding an enormous scythe, manifested above Naruto. Harnessing his ungodly power into his arms, the blonde snickered. Thinking you're in Soul Society. You are a long way from home. This desert is my playground. This is Hueco Mundo. Yuichiro widened her eyes in consternation as the ghastly avatar slashed the sky and a gargantuan wave of black energy was launched at her. Your justice, your strength. Show it all to me. Juishio, purificar. Judgment, purify. Captain Unohana evaded the almighty assailment, which bisected the barren wasteland. She immediately retaliated with a brute swing of her sword, but Naruto had anticipated the imminent assault before he sped towards her. Too weak. Too slow. Too predictable. The blonde landed an elbow to her stomach, stunning her in the process before he slammed her jaw remorselessly with his fist, hurling her to the night sky. Channeling tremendous power into his feet, Naruto bolted after his nemesis and pummeled Yuichiro back to the desert with a deleterious kick. The blonde grunted as a spiral of magenta energy encircled him. Only this much, huh? You are weak. Someone like you cannot defeat me. I shall show you despair, Unohana Yuichiro. Juishio, embested a Negro. Judgment, Black Onslaught. The specter of a stereotypical Grim Reaper emerged from non-existence. The appalling entity lifted its gigantic scythe and tendrils of phenomenal energy vacuumed into the sharp blade, augmenting its strength. Naruto sliced the earth and the avatar mimicked his action, discharging Netherworld's flame at his foe. You have underestimated me, Hollow. Captain Unohana counterattacked as she blitzed through Naruto's attack with a powerful swing of her blade, nullifying the calamity in the process. I am the Shodai Kenpachi, the mightiest Soul Reaper of Soul Society. I will not be defeated by the likes of you. Zanshinryu Mugen. God-slaying style secret technique, infinite. So you have been holding back for all this time, huh? Naruto narrowed his eyes as he parried the immeasurable flashes of blades sent at him before he raised his sword in seething rage. You think this is enough to stop what? Abruptly, Yuichiro materialized before him. The blonde attempted in haste to sever his opponent, but she repelled the assault with an adroit strike of her sword. I have overestimated you, Hollow. You disappoint. Zanshinryu Ugi, Tetsurayaman. God-slaying style secret technique, Iron Dragon Gate. Arg. Naruto gritted his teeth as blood gushed out from a wound on his back. What the fuck? No way. She's subjugating the spirit of her Zanpakuto and absorbing all of its energy forcefully to herself. In other words, that sword of hers is nothing but an empty vessel. Impressive. To think that she holds such dominance over her Zanpakuto, but this is still not enough. Yuichiro took a bold step forward and yelled in conviction. With my sword I shall oblige to my duty and cleanse this world with your blood. You are the personification of evil, Uzumaki Naruto. You are the devil. That's why you must be annihilated. Zanshinryu Ugi, Akimetsu. God-slaying style secret technique, annihilating all evil. I have enough playing games with you. Naruto dashed forward and intercepted the edge of Yuichiro's blade with his bare hand, startling the captain as she felt sudden trepidation. The blonde groaned as the sword cut through his adamantine skin and fresh blood stained the steel. Relinquishing his exasperation, Naruto let out a roar that caused seismic shockwaves to demolish the terrain. Seizing Yuichiro's sword, Naruto tossed her effortlessly away and anathematized, I will make you regret stepping into my territory. I am the devil's incarnate. I am the executioner. Those who oppose me shall die. Those who challenge me shall be vanquished. I am the god of Hueco Mundo, Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto pointed a finger at the captain, and he bombarded the battlefield with showers of thunderous beams. Know your place, Soul Reaper. Meteor Zero. Meteor Zero. Regaining her bearings, Captain Unohana was unfazed as she thrust a palm at the blonde and generated humongous pink energies in the air. The dynamic power produced by Yuichiro's immense spirit energy was amalgamated before a blinding torrent of scorching heat was shot at the offending force. Heido number 91, Senju Koten Taiho. Way of Destruction number 91, Thousand Hand Bright Heaven Culling Seer. When both attacks collided, an explosion of pandemonium pulverized a segment of the godforsaken desert. When the smoke stirred, Captain Unohana gasped for air at the strenuous spell she had performed. Naruto smirked vivaciously as he witnessed Yachiru's unkempt bang and the demented glow in her eyes. You're getting tired, huh? You're not entirely serious in this whole fight, aren't you? The formidable Kenpachi growled. I can say the same thing to you too. I know Soul Reaper like you has something called a Bankai, isn't it? You are a captain, that means you have it in you, but you have yet to use it. Naruto crossed his arms and chuckled. Why should I be serious with you? I don't even need to use all my strength to slow you down. Captain Unohana was dumbstruck when she saw the severe wound she had inflicted on her opponent had ameliorated. Why your injury? Oh? Naruto smiled as he touched his back. One of my traits is high-speed regeneration. A shallow cut cannot do me in, unfortunately for you. The notorious Kenpachi huffed in haughty vigor before she wiped the blood from the edge of her lips. Tell me, Hollow. What is your plan? With your powers, I'm sure you can do much more than just a silly conquest. What are you after? Hollows are amongst us, Soul Reaper. They are growing slowly, but surely. Naruto chuckled in a good-natured tone. The world is still asleep. Helpless and fragile. Soon, my race shall enslave the Soul Reapers and then we shall march our Legion of Doom to the mortals' world. And when everything is over, chaos will reign and I will be king. How cliché. Captain Unohana spat in disdain. You're delusional. That's what losers say. The blonde clicked his tongue and waged a finger. Only winners write history. Only winners determine how the way the world should be. I am sick of being oppressed. My memories are remnant of a cruel life of ostracism and oppression. I rather condemn others than be condemned. I am going to be the winner and create my own utopia. How can a king rule without subjects? You're just planning to destroy everything. There is no love, no faith, and no trust in that world that you believe in. Don't be mistaken, foolish woman. Naruto shook his head. Placing one's trust in someone is called dependency. That is something for the weak to do. I have no use for that. But if you're speaking about servitude, I do believe in theocracy. As for love, well, that is something that makes people weak. TCH. You're insane. Yachiru tightened her grip on her blade. It seems word won't be able to get through you. The verdict is clear. I must annihilate you. Zanshinryu Ugi, Tenti no Gessen. God-slaying style secret technique, Sky Empress's Moon Flash. The blonde chortled manically before Yachiru darted towards him. Impudence. I shall teach you who your god is, Unohana Yachiru. The Central Underground Parliament, which housed 46 bureaucrats and authoritarian that governed both the politics and welfare of Siriidii, was filled with clatters within the majestic assembly hall. Eventually, the chattering ceased and a spotlight shone upon a woman. Do you know why you are summoned, Captain Shutara? I was told that this meeting is strictly confidential. I would not know, sir. Shutara Senjumaru, an impassive woman with exquisite beauty, replied stoically. Golden ornament was adorned on her raven hair, and she wore crimson lipstick that embellished her captivating charm. Her face was as pale as the moon, and she wore the standard uniform of a noble reaper who had attained the highest echelon of the military hierarchy. She was astoundingly gorgeous, and her indisputable strength was venerated by her peers. The autocrat, who possessed judicial rights within Soul Society, raised his volume. I am aware that the recent destruction of Siriidii has raised a problematic issue to us. The Harbinger of Chaos has destroyed both the image of the Godii 13th Supreme Might and the infrastructure of our holy city. The culprit, who Captain Commander Yamamoto has referred to as Deaths Incarnate, must be dealt with. Senjumaru blinked. Do you propose that I should seek this death myself? No, the councilman claimed. We have discussed with Captain Commander Yamamoto. Our conclusion is simple. We have nominated a suitable candidate to enter the realm of Hueco Mundo and seek out the culprit. We grant you permission to slay the adversary by all means. Failure is not an option. Simple then said. I believe Captain Unohana was dispatched to Hueco Mundo, and she has yet to return. The raven-haired captain sighed. I guess there is no room for rejection, I suppose? Unfortunately, no. Senjumaru spun around and ambled out of the chamber. My obligation compels me. I will prepare for my excursion. Naruto seized the hapless captain in a chokehold. Her obsidian strands of disheveled hair were stained in scarlet liquid, her delicate features were marred with bleeding cuts, and her uniform was in shreds. I told you, didn't I? You cannot defeat me. Surrender both your body and soul to me, Unohana. You're now my property, whether you like it or not. Why you are really think you bested me? The fallen Kenpachi coughed before she spat a glob of blood at Naruto's face. To hell with you. The blonde snorted in vexation as his brows twitched vigorously, before a deriding smirk tugged at his lips. I like feisty girls, especially those with big egos like yours. They put up a challenge. But I think I should implement something called enslavement in you. See how it goes. It would be delightful to see how all this turns out, don't you think? Juicio, Purgatorio. Judgment, Purgatory. Captain Unohana was a conceited warrior who was proud of her preeminent notoriety as an indomitable individual. Even the frightening Captain Commander knew best not to provoke her. So when she was impaled by countless spears composed of hellfire, she refused to scream. She didn't even grunt. Naruto grinned as the flames extinguished, and he whispered lewdly, "Submit to me and be my woman." A chill crawled up Yuchiro's spine as she felt the warm breath lingering on her skin, damped with beads of sweat. And never. Still challenging me, even till the end. I really don't understand your kind. Why do you wish to serve heaven, when you can reign in hell? Naruto threw the captain on the ground and ripped her robe, revealing her prurient curves and desirable figure. You can't torture someone if there is nothing for you to take away. Yuichiro was horrified when she noticed the libidinous gleam in his vermilion eyes. What are you? I shall repeat myself again. I will make you regret stepping into my territory, Hana-chan. Kirinji Tanjiro, a tall man with a prominent region hairdo and wore a waist-length jacket that had its squad's crest imprinted on his back, knocked on the door of Senjumaru's chamber and glared at the aristocratic woman. I heard about it. The old guy said that you're leaving in 1 week time after the patrolling and scout units have gathered sufficient data. Yes. But that doesn't warrant you any rights to intrude into my premise. Please leave this place at once after you have finished whatever business you have here, Captain Kirinji. Senjumaru refuted while she played a melodic piece with her guzheng. In fact, my excursion has not given you any rights to interfere with my matters. Tanjiro rolled his eyes as he chewed a stick. Don't flatter yourself. Haven't you heard? Captain Unohana hasn't even returned yet. And she is one of the strongest amongst us. What makes you think you can go in a foreign environment and survive? Do you think it's worth it or even logical to fight a beast that even that old man can't beat? And who knows what happened to the Shodai Kenpachi? Are you demeaning Captain Unohana's abilities? She is, after all, the Shodai Kenpachi. The man shrugged. Who knows? She's strong, no doubt. But against that monster, well, being strong is not gonna cut it. I have seen the reports. Even if you rely on spells to keep a distance on him, it is gonna be useless. To be honest, I'm not sure if the reports are exaggerating or not, but it seems that it might take more than just the entire Godai 13 to stop that beast. They are sending you to the lion's den like an offering. The council has its edicts. I cannot object. Tanjiro sighed. Up to you. You can always appeal. Like you care. I don't. The tall captain averted his gaze. But Soul Society is still in the process of rebuilding itself from a recent apocalypse. This world needs all the power it can get to sustain for a period of time. I'm not sure we can withstand another invasion without our full manpower. The Captain Commander is still recuperating. We are the leaders that have to guard the fort with our lives. Have you spoken enough? Well, don't say I didn't warn you. That son of a bitch that you're assigned to kill almost jumpstart Judgment Day. Tanjiro stared at the moon. I don't like saying stuff like this, but I hope we can meet again. Good luck with your trip. Senjumaru accidentally broke a string from her musical instrument and scowled. It was a sign of an omen. For once in a lifetime, Senjumaru felt uncertainty. Naruto sat on his sacrosanct throne, situated within the desert citadel, as he rested his cheek on his fist. Yuchiro's tousled hair, her bare shoulders that exposed her creamy skin, damaged clothing and the small pool of blood in between her legs only served to exhilarate the unscrupulous devil. It was indeed a rather vivid memory for him. You should have chosen to leave Soul Society and stay with me. Forget that place and start anew in my kingdom. This entire realm belongs to me. I can give you a better life. Once my dream becomes reality, you will be queen of a new world. That I promise you. Naruto chuckled as he stared at the night sky. You will come back to my side, Unohana Yuichiro. Eventually, you will come to realize how pathetic Soul Society is and you will return to me. Nobody denies what I want. My hegemony is absolute, after all. Believe it. She despised the way her tormentor looked at her. The humiliated captain glared in aversion at the path she trudged. She was tossed aside when her chastity was ruined. There was a mixture of tribulation, resentment, and self-loathing in her heart. The goddess of death was defeated. Honor and glory were tarnished. Naruto had shown considerable mercy for her to escape when she refused to be his bride. But it was a heartless act to keep her alive. Captain Unohana tried to cover what's left of her modesty with her torn clothes and hissed as she licked her bruised lip. Dragging her blade with her, she felt everything to be unnaturally heavy. It was as if her strength was enervated. Nothing mattered to her anymore. Her pride, her dignity, and her passion had all degraded into a stigma of irrevocable disgrace. Before she managed to navigate to the gate of Suriidii, she collapsed into oblivion. At that moment, she desired nothing but a soothing death. Fear was a weapon. It was an invaluable commodity and a contagious pestilence that kept threats nerve-wracking. Fear was primal, and it was everybody's basic instinct. In an immoral world where strength was the only option for survival, it was fear that compelled cannibalism amongst the monsters roaming in Hueco Mundo. Hollows weren't mindless. They were simply condemned souls, but possessed a conscience to comprehend fear. The Soul Reapers exploited that weakness. They formulated that the shock and awe theory could work against the repugnant creatures. They assumed it was a feasible logic as it applied to ordinary hollows, so they never anticipated for a what-if scenario. However, they miscalculated a crucial factor. Uzumaki Naruto wasn't your everyday hollow. The Soul Reapers were unprepared when they encountered a primitive nemesis that was incapable of being shocked and awed. The fact that the battalions of Reapers couldn't shock and awe the indestructible and nigh omnipotent antagonists ricocheted right back in their faces and actually allowed the devil to shock and awe them. A hollow that nearly crippled the bureaucratic empire of Suriidii and its imperial army was staggering news. Nobody could visualize a monster that had the power to instigate apocalypse, let alone combat it. That contemptible beast lacked fear. For the first time in Soul Society's history, they faced a ruthless threat that nearly brought them to the edge of immolation. The Soul Reapers knew something for certain. Uzumaki Naruto would never negotiate or surrender. And that fact terrified them. Lieutenant Hikifian Kiryu, who had erotic curves, a voluptuous figure, billowy violet hair and an enticing pair of jubilant eyes, was patrolling the streets of Rukongai with her blade stashed on her belt. It was casual routine as she patrolled the district, hoping something exciting would happen. She was bewildered by the odd silence, though. The stalls were closed, and not a single soul was present in the once bustling street. What's with today? A holiday? She took a sharp turn and stumbled across something unexpected. Lying before her was an unconscious Captain Unohana, the venerated Reaper whose transcendental prowess defied description. She seemed vulnerable and fragile, contradicting the notorious rapport of the Shodai Kenpachi. Kiryu walked cautiously towards Yuichira's body and squatted down, checking her pulse. Well, it's weak but still alive nonetheless. You're pretty lucky, Captain Unohana. The lieutenant was in solicitude as she smelled an unpleasant scent of sex and death in the atmosphere. What exactly happened to you? Hoisting Yuichira carefully over her back, Kiryu sped towards the medical squadron. Naruto stared in scrutiny at his odachi as he brushed his fingers across the sharp blade. The weapon was the receptacle of his dreadful powers. He had implanted the gargantuan essence of his nefarious energy into the odachi to strengthen its durability. It also kept his indomitable power in check, lest he unleashed catastrophe. After his arduous battle with the Shodai Kenpachi, her ineffable beauty had engraved in his mind. He was mesmerized by her unparalleled grace with the sword. If she had harnessed her full strength in combat, he would have struggled defeating her. She was an intriguing entity that baffled him, and he disliked curiosity. Naruto licked his lips predatorily as a legion of monstrosities marched towards him. Sheathing his impenetrable blade, the blonde muttered, "Do you know why vanity is my favorite sin, Arturo?" Arturo Play-to-Do, an insightful strategist and a conniving warrior who was once labeled as the immortal phoenix of the desert, stood stoically beside the imposing blonde. The turquoise-haired man carried a debonair aura of indifference as he was dressed in a white Chesterfield coat with black lapels and shimmering derby shoes. "I wouldn't know, my lord." Vanity is basic. Self-love. Obsession. You may think vanity is pride, but they are a little different. Why do you think the Shinigami care about their image and reputation so badly? Vanity, I say. They are desperate to know what others think of them. They cannot accept the fact that I belittle them. After all, this world is simply a game of domination. Arturo remained silent. Vanity and domination, they make a wonderful connection, don't you think? Naruto chuckled. The Shinigami has always believed that they are the dominating race. They were delusional to think that they are born to dominate. And it is their foolishness that breeds vanity. They want to advertise their domination. But they never expect the day would come when somebody brought them down to their knees. That's why they will keep coming. Do you mean the Soul Reapers, my lord? There's an old saying, Arturo. Raise no more devils than you can lay down. The gods have raised one too many in this godforsaken desert. The swarm of hollows charged. The god drew his sword and unleashed carnage with a smile. Unohana Yachiru, though bedridden, was not asleep. She sat on the soft mattress of her bed in her secluded ward and stared lifelessly at the meadows through the window. Tenjiro, chief of the Medical Institutes of Soul Society, eyed the apathetic Kenpachi and sighed at the lugubrious ambience. How are you feeling, Unhana? I heard from the nurses that you've refused medicines and food. You do know that this is not good for your health, right? I used to recite a philosophy to myself. Yuichiro muttered in a solemn demeanor. The only reason I am alive is because I have never trusted anyone in my entire life. Tenjiro scratched his scalp and blinked. As your doctor, I have the obligation and rights to know what happened to my patient. I have kept your records confidential. However, if Central 46 wants to dig, I have to forfeit those files. If you want me to help you, I got to know everything. I can't do anything if you are not cooperative. I don't care. The medical commander grabbed the clipboard and growled. Unhana, did that monster. Enough. You are forgetting your place, Captain Kirinji. If you mention about the incident again, I will collect your head. The Shodai Kenpachi interrupted. Just leave me alone. Tenjiro shook his head. I can understand if you don't wish to speak about the incident, but as your doctor, I deserve to know what happened. Her eyes were intoxicated with inebriated madness and despair as she glared with a psychotic manner at her colleague. Regaining her composure, she exhaled a breath of frustration and scowled. She who fights monsters should beware, lest she becomes a monster herself. It is a fitting statement. I have concluded, Captain Kirinji. What is it? Tenjiro arched a questioning brow. There is only one way to fight monster, Captain Kirinji. History is at its making. Our paradigm will be altered. Perspectives will be revised and re-educated. In lieu of discourse, violence is needed to solve our problems. Problems that cannot be resolved so easily with a diplomatic approach. And the solution is simple. The Shodai Kenpachi smirked. We must create our own monsters. What are you talking about? From that day forth, Yuichiro was dead. The maniacal captain chuckled. She died without a purpose. She died without conviction. A meaningless death. I shall not associate myself with an individual who lacks the necessity to conquer and destroy. From today onwards, I am Uno Hanaretsu. And I have only one purpose. Tenjiro swallowed his consternation. What trauma has that monster inflicted into you, Unohana? I live to kill Uzumaki Naruto. Retsu broke into a frenzy of malevolent guffaws. Amidst the rage, Tenjiro caught a glimpse of a tear of unquenchable sorrow falling from Retsu's eyes. Sanjimara's Shotara had readied her combat equipment. She knew the expedition was suicidal. Due to the importance of her excursion, she was given the prerogative privilege to review the report from Captain Unohana's mission. Apparently, the barbaric woman had returned from Hueco Mundo mentally scarred and the captain commander was trying to cover the conspiracy. Shotara situated the golden ornament atop her raven hair and sighed. She fondled the silk-wrapped hilt of her blade and blinked. I guess this is it. She was an elite soldier. Honor, duty, and valor compelled her to face danger. It was her drive and motivation. What the Shodai Kenpachi had failed to accomplish, she swore never to waver and hesitate in the battlefield. She vowed to destroy the devil's cruel dictatorship and reclaim justice for her people. Dressed in her white overcoat, Shotara smiled at her reflection from her mirror. Lady Shotara, are you ready? A guardsman stood on the doorway and bowed. Captain Commander Yamamoto is waiting for your presence. I will be right there. The assemblage of the captains within the Grand Hall of the 1st Division Barracks symbolized exigent importance. It had been weeks since the god of Hueco Mundo ravaged their white city and devastated their garrison effortlessly. Captain Commander Yamamoto stood before his fellow leaders and scowled. As some of you have heard, Captain Unohana has readjusted her vocation and took over the vacant post as Squad 12's commander. Nemea Otsu was a pioneer in engineering the blueprint of Zanpakuto, and his seniority, as well as his superb intellect, was acknowledged by his peers. He wore a custom-tailored uniform that consisted of a white sleeveless puffer jacket that bore the emblem of his squad. Not that I wish to interrupt you, but what is her role in all this? Has she forfeited her title as well? No? She has founded Siriidi's first technological development and research bureau. Unfortunately, she is unable to attend due to the urgency of her work. The captain commander sighed. Captain Nemea is perceptive. She has decided to denounce her title as the Shodai Kenpachi. That means the 11th Division has an absent commander. However, after discussing with Central 46, we have decided to retain her former division's purpose. Hayasub Ichibai, a dutiful captain who wore prayer beads around his neck and resembled a monk, folded his arms. I agree. We need to acquire a new commander for the 11th Division as soon as possible. The 11th Division is a unit that specializes at guerrilla warfare. They may be brutes, but the existence of the 11th Division is necessary. The aged leader nodded. Captain Hayasub is right. We are in desperate times. That's why I have lifted the ban on releasing Zanpakuto within Suriidai and allowed full utilization of one's blade. All captains are permitted to release their Bankai if necessary. Don't you think we are being too paranoid, Yamaji? During the horrid war, a few captains gave their lives to defend Soul Society from their calamity. Kayaraka Shunsui was recently promoted to replace the deceased commander of his division. Shifting his straw hat, the flamboyant captain smirked. We should loosen up a bit. Putting us on a constant code red will attract attention, don't you think? Foolishness, Shunsui. Shigekuni chided. We should always be on guard. I can assure you that this is not the last time we encounter a powerful hollow such as Uzumaki Naruto. During the war, I have essayed his abilities. And to be truthful, I am confounded about his strength. We always thought that we knew a hollow's evolution pattern. But we were wrong. We were ignorant, and it cost us. Half of Suriidai was ravaged by destruction, thousands of lives lost, our reputation tarnished. I plan to rectify that mistake. It is either we stand and fight or we fall and face extinction. Ichibai concurred. Captain Commander Yamamoto is right. We cannot afford to lose once more. Soul Society cannot lose. Our enemy has just invaded our home and humiliated us. Reputation is at stake here. That's why we need to bring the fight to him. We will face the monster that is at our door, and we will stop the apocalypse. The wolves rule, not the sheep. The Captain Commander scowled. Right now, we cannot afford to drop our guard. Not even for a second. We are facing an enemy who possesses no fear. No matter how many blows we land, no matter how many slashes we inflict, he will never be afraid. My brethren, as of now, we do not know where this hollow originated. We do not know whether our intruder could potentially increase its power even further beyond our comprehension. What we do know is that we must exterminate the pest before it infests our home. Tenjiro narrowed his eyes in scrutiny and bit his stick. They sound as if they know about Captain Senjumaru's mission. Could it be that Captain Commander Yamamoto and Captain Hayasub were linked to this mess? Did they influence Central 46 to pick Captain Senjumaru specifically for this suicidal mission? But for what reason? There are too many what-ifs and too little answers. This is beyond my pay grade. Shotaro stepped into the chamber and spoke with a melodic voice. How delightful. The leaders who govern Soul Society are waiting patiently for my arrival? I'm honored. Shigekuni huffed. I am sure that you are aware of your espionage mission at hand, Captain Senjumaru. Exterminating the vermin, Uzumaki Naruto, is crucial to Soul Society's survival. He poses a threat that is beyond forgiving and... I understand. Shotaro interjected. I am ready to commence the crusade. The Captain Commander displayed a somber frown and snapped his fingers. As if on cue, Shigekuni summoned 4 of his subordinates, and they readily set up their equipment. The captains were marveled when a dimensional rift was ripped from the atmosphere as the 4 spellcasters performed a ritual. Behold! Our intelligence unit has managed to reverse engineer the way Uzumaki travels and use it for our advantage. The prototype has been tested by Captain Unohana during her recent expedition. The raven-haired captain ambled in a noble gait towards the portal. Remember, Captain Senjumaru. Once you located Uzumaki, assassinate him. If the mission is compromised, you are authorized to use lethal force to subdue the monster. Bring him back his head with you as proof of your successful hunt. Captain Commander Yamamoto grunted. Failure is not an option. Understood. Naruto licked the blood-tainted steel of his blade. He sat atop an enormous pyramid of carcasses and grinned in admiration at the slaughter that he had wrought. Arturo disregarded the pungent stench of death and adjusted his attire. My lord, do you feel it? There is a foreign signature of impressive spiritual pressure at North. I told you, didn't I? The god snickered. Vanity is intriguing. The turquoise-haired man bowed subserviently. Do you want me to investigate the source? Don't waste unnecessary time on such triviality, Arturo. As I said, they are coming. Shotaro felt the tremors from the dunes and frowned. She could sense a palpable wave of murderous pressure at a distance. During the morbid war, she felt the same appalling energy lingering in the air. It was nostalgic and terrifying. Mustering her temerity, she dashed forward. She passed by mountains of macabre corpses and trails of dried blood staining the desert. The stench was unbearable, and she pinched her nose. Instinctively, Shatera reached for her sword and narrowed her eyes vigilantly. What do you want? Arturo materialized before the Reaper and studied her lithe stature. What business do you have here, Shinigami? I am here to kill Uzumaki Naruto. Kill? The immortal phoenix shook his head. Let me enlighten you with facts, Shinigami. There is nobody alive who can defeat the god of Hueco Mundo. If you memorized his combat patterns, it wouldn't matter because it is redundant. If you think you are prepared for his other abilities, it is still a useless precaution. Whether it's a tsunami or a hurricane, even if you gathered all your wits to be prepared for any misfortune, you will never be ready to fight him. I am Senjumaru Shatera, captain of the 3rd Division. I do not care if he is a god or a hollow, as long as he is a threat, he will be vanquished. The raven-haired beauty unsheathed her katana. His crimes will not go unpunished. I am here to seek justice. Arturo scowled as tendril of hellfire encircled his forearm. I will not allow you to disparage my lord any further. There is nothing you can do to stop your imminent demise. Naruto materialized behind his subordinate and smirked. It's all right, Arturo. Stand down. Her anger is directed on me. After all, I did burn down half of Suriidai and probably murdered hundreds of her subordinates, didn't I? Her anger is justified. Shatera gritted her teeth and readied a battle stance. Your tyranny ends today, devil. And my tyranny, you say? The blonde guffawed. It is rather noble of you to face me. Seeking justice for your people? That is justice indeed. However, your justice is merely masqueraded by your desire for vengeance. And that lust for vengeance derives from your hatred. Do you see now? You are simply seeking vengeance under the banner of your justice. I am not here to preach about philosophy or debate about our perceptions of justice. The raven-haired captain shifted into a battle stance. I am here to kill you, that is all there is to it. Kill me? Don't you find yourself arrogant for proclaiming such unsubstantial declaration? The devil grinned and taunted the captain with a beckoning hand. His smothering aura morphed into a bestial demon as his spiritual pressure amplified in unearthly proportions. Your vanity shall cost you. Captain Kirinji was a cynical individual. He knew there was a controversy that the parliament was stirring and it could potentially jeopardize his colleague's assignment. He was doing the digging not because Shatera was his friend, but the fact that they were considered expendable tools was unthinkable. He broke into the governor's classified vault and retrieved several documents related to the operation. It was then Tanjiro unraveled the conspiracy Captain Commander Yamamoto had schemed. The autocrats from the Central 46 had detested the notion of enlisting Retsu into their ranks. She was powerful, no doubt, but she was a dangerous criminal. When the vile beast had struck Soul Society, the politicians strategized an ingenious way to eliminate Retsu while scavenging for nuggets of benefits. They used her unquenchable lust for battle to their advantage. Shigekuni envisaged the Shodai Kenpachi to be a deterrent, but the governors treated her as bait. What Suriidai needed desperately was time. If the despicable Hollow chose to invade their realm again, their kingdom would inevitably crumble. They dispatched Retsu to a foreign field to covertly obliterate Naruto. If she failed, it would, at the very least, buy them enough time to restore the strength of their army and plan for a decisive counterattack. The Central 46 would celebrate the demented warrior's death afterwards. If she accomplished her operation, they would sedate her urge for chaos momentarily while eradicating their adversary. It was a win-win situation. When Retsu returned in a dreadful condition, the Central 46 realized something. Despite the ghastly nature of the self-proclaimed god of Hueco Mundo, he respected beautiful woman with irrefutable prowess in a twisted sense. Shatera possessed all the pulchritudinous qualities and intellect, but was more pacified than Retsu. The Central 46 found their next target. Tanjiro gasped as he reread the report. When he put down the paperwork, he stared blankly at the ceiling. This is bad. Captain Unohana and Captain Senjumaru are simply scapegoats, sent to the guillotine. Naruto sidestepped a strike from Shitara's blade with an insouciant attitude and grasped her wrist. Is this all you got? Hana-chan's kenjutsu is far superior to yours. You need to be as strong as that old geezer to beat me. The black-haired swordswoman vanished into sonic resonance before she reappeared behind the blonde. Blood gushed out from numerous cuts from Naruto's back before the red liquid was readily absorbed into the ameliorated wound. Shatera gasped in stupefaction. What? Instant regeneration. Naruto chuckled. You can cut my head off. You can sever my limbs. You can even burn my organs and it still won't throw me into the depths of hell. Everything will be futile. I just don't die. It's like a blessing and curse. Sometimes, I just want to get it over with. Then I just have to cut you up until nothing remains. The dark-haired Reaper charged towards the aloof blonde and thrust her katana forward. Instead of her sword piercing through her foe's body, the blade shattered upon impact, much to her consternation. The fragmented shards vaporized into glitters of faint energy and disappeared. Unable to process her predicament, she didn't react when a blow collided against her sternum. Shatara sailed through the atmosphere and crashed into a mountainous monolith. Her limp body tumbled down the hill and fell into the dune. She groaned and vomited fluids in agonizing convulsion. The impact might have punctured her internal organs and broken her ribs. On what universe does your hubris comes from, Shinigami? I am more powerful than you can comprehend. Naruto's distorted voice echoed ominously as he glared in disdain at the fallen Reaper. Your hatred burns deep. And that hatred breeds pain. But it is your blind anger that exposes your weaknesses. Emotions are useless compulsions that enslave us. It is the reason why you are groveling in the dirt. Shutara's overcoat was in shreds and her black uniform was in tattered. She pushed herself from the ground, but failed miserably and collapsed on the sand. I am doing this for the salvation of my people. As long as you exist, more innocent lives will be lost. Why you are darkness. I cannot let you live. Naruto stared in confusion as Shutara struggled to reach for her broken blade. Salvation? I don't understand. Why are you so persistent? Why would someone so weak like you trying to reject your reality? Why are you fighting me? Do you not know that there is no hope left for you? Are you not afraid of death? Ignoring Naruto's anathematization, she grasped the hilt weakly and coughed. Peace and justice, these are ideas that exist for a reason. Ideas cannot be killed. Ideas give us the will to live. I don't blame you. After all, you are a persona of evil you will never understand. The blonde scoffed. You are pathetic. You have lost hope, so you desperately clung on reasons to live. The peace that you spoke of is a mere fabrication to hide your fear. In order to survive, you cling to concepts that you know and foolishly label it as reality. Regardless, it is just a worthless perception of reality. Shutara chuckled with a hoarse voice. The Overlord narrowed his eyes. Why are you laughing about? I am laughing at how pitiful you are. Naruto's eyes illuminated a cruel crimson before he swiped his arm. Shutara was blasted away by an ungodly force. Evil? Justice? What deluded misconception of reality you have. Justice will triumph, but that is only for the winners to say. Only those who stand at the top determine what's evil. Soul society has flourished under centuries of war. Your era has learned peace, but sadly, your people have forgotten pain. I merely did your people a service. The blonde splashed the blood from his blade on the desert, and trekked towards the quavering Reaper. I am the progenitor of the monsters you vowed to eliminate. But I am more than just that. I am the origin of all creations. The day creations learned to hate, I was born. Our worlds were both built from the foundation of hatred. That's why you cannot defeat me. That's why your beloved kingdom will fall. Naruto positioned the sharp edge of his odachi on Shutara's neck and scowled. I was once like you. I was a soldier, fighting for an impossible cause. I fought for my friends and my ideas. I foolishly believed that peace could be achieved if I worked hard for it. I participated in endless wars. All the suffering, all the deaths that surrounded me. Eventually, I became numb. I forgot why I fought. If I wasn't wearing my armor, you would have thought I was just another criminal. What is your goal? The Reaper bit her lip. Why did you attack us? My plan is to destroy everything. After destroying Soul Society, I will destroy the mortal realm. The devil smirked. After all the destructions have ended, there will finally be real peace. It was then Shutara caught a glimpse of incessant despair and anguish reflected on his melancholic eyes. If he wasn't the enemy, she would want to know more about him. But irony was a bitch. The monster that stood before her was deranged beyond cure. You're crazy. Perhaps I am. Naruto blinked and realization struck him. Ah, I see. I understood why they sent you here. They thought I spared Hana-chan on a whim, so I would spare you like I did before. And then you will report to your masters with credible data about me? Is that it? The Reaper widened her eyes in dismay. The Overlord of the Desert laughed. Do you know what is terrifying about betrayal, Shinigami? It is not the betrayal that you could anticipate terrifies you. It is the betrayal that you could never expect that frightens even the strongest warriors. You have been deceived, Shinigami. Heido number 63, Raikoho. Way of the Destruction number 63, Thunder Roar Seer. A bolt of lightning erupted from Shutara's palm and the devastating explosions engulfed Naruto. The Reaper used the distraction as an opportunity to escape. Arturo, who noticed the abrupt commotion, sped to his master's aid. When he arrived to the battlefield, Naruto stood unscathed in the epicenter of a crater. "Milord, are you alright? Do I look like I'm dead to you, Arturo?" The blonde dusted his charred attire and sighed. "Where did she go?" "She must have fled." The immortal phoenix placed a finger on the sand and closed his eyes. "Her coordinates aren't far from ours. We can reach her." "Good," Naruto interrupted. "I want you to keep a close eye on her. Make sure the bigger hollows don't get their claws on her. She is my prey. I want to break her morale and see her hopes shatter before my very eyes. Slowly, but surely, she will submit her will to me." "Is that necessary, milord? Are you questioning me, Arturo?" "And no, sir. I will attend to your orders right away." Arturo bowed politely before he vanished. Kirio fidgeted her slender fingers as stared uneasily at her apathetic captain. Captain Unohana, you summoned me?" "Yes, I did." Retsu smiled. The reinstated commander was sported with youthful hairstyle that consisted of braids tied to her back. She remodeled her new office with an oriental finish. There were Chinese calligraphies with the text, "Strength and Power," imprinted on the art pieces. There were antique zither and halberds, as well as a few vases of gladiolus displayed in the chamber. The violet-haired lieutenant was stunned. The foreboding aura that her captain exuded was astounding. Beneath that beatific smile, there was a subliminal threat that Kirio detected. She shifted uncomfortably and reciprocated with a forced smile. What is it that you need to talk to me about, Captain Unohana?" "Are you always that formal, Lieutenant Hikifune?" The raven-haired captain tidied the documents on her desk and gestured her subordinate for a seat. "Please treat me as a friend. Drop the tension and be at ease. I am not that scary, am I?" "You know?" Kirio chuckled sheepishly. "Hell yes. I've read about your files from this division's archives. I am impressed." Retsu eyed her lieutenant keenly. "Graduated from the academy with excellent grades. Have a passion in philosophy and the culinary arts. A specialist in Kido and a prodigy in Hakuda. After your captain died in the war, you took up leadership and became a pseudo-commander." Kirio was flustered and waved a dismissive hand. It's nothing. There are many people who are stronger than me." Modesty. I like that." The atmosphere was strained by an inconceivable dread as the raven-haired captain glared vehemently at her violet-haired lieutenant. "You must be wondering why you are here. The truth is I want to build an organization, using this division as its stepping stone. I want to hear your opinion." "Organization?" Kirio arched her brow as beads of sweat formed on her temples. "As she is really creepy. I don't even know which side of her is real. Siriidi's Research and Technology Bureau." Sanjumaru Shotara grasped her wounded arm and groaned, stifling the excruciating pain which had escalated. The hostile environment and cornucopia of plagues infesting the desert were contributing to her afflictions. She had been trying to activate a distress signal that would supposedly activate a wormhole for her to return home, but nothing happened. Danger exists. Fear is optional. A fascinating punchline that suits your situation, don't you think? Naruto materialized in a static blur before the mortified Shotara. He wore sensual cologne with distinctive tinge of rosemary. The blonde was dressed in a frock coat with obsidian peak lapels, a taupe waistcoat over his black turtleneck knitted with delicate silk, a white trousers and a pair of polished derby shoes. "You will not get away from this. I promised." Shotara's voice was broken, mixed with insatiable rage and despair, yet her eyes were filled with sheer conviction. It was nostalgic to the blonde and it thrilled him. "If I got out of this I will skin you alive. You hear me?" "Meh, I don't really believe that. So much hubris with nothing to back yourself up. It's not really working out, you know?" Naruto grinned and observed Shotara with a perspicacious mind. "Still trying to get out of this mess? Please. You know it better than I do. Your friends have abandoned you. Let me rephrase it for you. Abandoned you." "Shut up." Naruto chuckled. "I see. I get it now. You're slowly accepting your reality, huh?" "I said shut up." The blonde raised his hands and mocked surrender. "Fine by me. Sooner or later you'll accept it." Rummaging his pockets, he took out a bag of fruits. "Here, this is for you." Shotara eyed the food with disgust, despite her hunger was overruling her rationality. Naruto arched a brow, perplexed at her unwillingness. "What? You don't know what these are? Fruits? You put it in your mouth, chew it, ingest it. Your body absorbs its nutrients and—" "I know what they are," the raven-haired reaper exclaimed. "Oh." A proverbial light bulb lit up in the forefront of Naruto's mind, and he guffawed in hysteria. "That's very funny. You're afraid I will poison it. Is this what all this is about? Me? Poisoning you? Ha!" Shatera swallowed hard. Well, if he wants to kill me in my current state, it would be easy for him. Why would he want to go through all this fuss just to end my life? I guess. Still don't believe me? Naruto sighed and snatched an apple before he took a bite. See? No poison. Face it, Uzumaki. You're just another low-life scum that doesn't even deserve a fair trial. Oh, nice one. Zinger. Naruto winked. Nice and tight. I like that. You know what's funny? Despite the ridiculous bravado that you're expressing, deep down inside you, you're afraid, Shatera. The raven-haired captain rolled her eyes and retorted sarcastically. Oh, that's very droll. No, you're afraid. You want me to think you're gloating, but you're not. You're very afraid. I can see right through you. Naruto fondled his ring and invoked. You want me to think you're still in control. You still have worthless hopes that Soul Society will rescue you. A very naive perception, I must say. You want me to think that Soul Society is unstoppable, but it isn't. You're afraid, Shatera. Abruptly, Naruto leaned close to Shatera and felt her breathings became rapid. He noticed she was clenching her trembling sweaty palm and her pupils were dilating, a significant evidence of trepidation. The blonde grinned with triumph and whispered. And you should be. Remorselessly, Naruto ripped Shatara's tattered robe and exposed her porcelain shoulders. She yelped, startled by her nemesis's transgression, and struggled in frantic panic. The blonde possessed Herculean strength that overpowered her, and he pinned her hands above her head. However, she didn't want her enemy to realize she was frightened of the inevitable. She cannot allow her enemy to see weakness in her. Is that supposed to scare me? Mustering her fortitude, Shatera glared fiercely at Naruto, despite shuddering from the chill of his hands. You know, the blonde brushed a finger across her cheek, admiring her perfect complexion and elegant features. You're really beautiful when you're angry, Shatera. Eat the food. We don't want our angry little princess to die out here now, do we? Naruto stood up and walked away. Shatera hesitated for a moment, staring cautiously at the blonde before she reached out for the apple. Oh, by the way. Naruto stopped in his tracks and smirked shrewdly at her. The truth is, I am invincible. Killing things outright is getting boring nowadays. Perhaps putting a little dose of poison in the fruits and watch my victim writhe to death can prove entertaining. And my body is immune to toxic. I can't die by any diseases whatsoever. You're lying. The raven-haired reaper growled. Maybe. Naruto winked. But can you afford it? Good day, Tera-chan. Yamamoto Genryusai Shigakuni was studying the docket of archives on his antique desk. Central 46 had been ushering him persistently about updates of Captain Senjumaru's classified operation. He had sabotaged the device that he issued Shatera and altered it to the extent where it only functioned when her objective was completed. Shigakuni pinched his nose and stared at his steaming tea. Sir, you're not allowed to. I have something important to address to the Captain Commander. Move aside, soldier. The veteran commander arched a quizzical brow at the commotion outside his office and muttered. What's the matter? Sasuke Chojiro, a diligent and loyalist, slid open the door and bowed. Captain Commander Yamamoto, I have told Captain Kirinji that you requested not to be disturbed, but... It's all right. Send him in. The lieutenant blinked. Yes, sir. Chojiro obliged to the instruction and led an agitated Tenjiro into the grand office. Shigakuni beckoned his lieutenant to leave and essayed the perturbed commander with a miffed glare. What can I do for you, Captain Kirinji? You came here in such short notice? Something urgent that you wish to talk to me about, I presume? Tenjiro tossed a stack of documents crudely on the desk and scowled. Can you explain to me what is going on here? Huh. What is Central 46 playing at? Captain Unohana's expedition was stated that it was a recon mission, not a suicide mission. And Captain Senjumaru as well. The council is betting a huge wager on this one. And you know what's funny? You're an accomplice as well. Are we expendable to you, huh? Fix that tone of yours, Captain Kirinji. I am your superior and you will acknowledge that. Shigakuni exclaimed. I don't care if you're upset or confused. You straighten yourself up and remember your place. Are we clear? The medical commander balled his fist and swallowed his umbrage. Reclaiming his composure, he spoke in a monotone. Crystal, sir. I apologize for my misconduct. I was out of line. I just want to know what is going on. The aged captain sighed. Where do you get these files? I borrowed it. Tenjiro scratched his temples sheepishly. You stole it from the Central 46 compound. That place is a restricted zone. Even I require a permit for entry. Shigakuni corrected. That is a federal offense tantamount to treason. As a squadron commander, I am sure you are familiar with the rules more than anybody else. I can prosecute you for immediate execution, and you will not be liable to any pardons. Beads of sweat formed on Tenjiro's neck, and he stammered. I am aware of the risks, Captain Commander Yamamoto. However, I do wish to know the truth. We deserve to know. Some truths are best kept hidden from the populace. The veteran commander retorted with bitter disdain. I will not punish you for stealing these files from a restricted zone, Captain Kirinji, but bear in mind that I will not tolerate such shenanigan from you in the future. Understood, sir. People are fragile beings. They only wanted to know convenient truth that sounds amiable. That is why what I'm about to disclose to you must never be revealed to the public. If you failed to withhold the information, I will kill you. Do you understand the severity of this matter, Captain Kirinji? I understand, sir. You want to know what torture is, Arturo? Naruto crossed his powerful arms and gazed in apathy at Shutara atop a hill. She is trying to reach out for hope, but she is fearful. Soul Society has abandoned her. She is injured in this barren wasteland with no emotional support or medical treatment. Right now, she is fighting a war inside her. Arturo gazed quizzically at his vivacious master and questioned. What do you mean, my lord? You're clueless, aren't you? If she accepts my food, she would become paranoid. After all, I just mind-fuck her into thinking that the fruits might be poisonous. However, if her hunger got the better of her, and she ate the fruits, she would realize they weren't poisonous. And her guilt of accepting an offering from her enemy might trigger a traumatic episode. A psychological warfare, I assume? Precisely. She is a tough, independent woman. And tough woman has egos. It's the natural order of things. It will hurt a lot if her pride is tarnished. After all, pride is all that is left to her. Naruto sighed deeply and stroked his chin. She is so mesmerizing, don't you think? She really reminds me of that Soul Reaper that you defeated not long ago? Yes. The blonde sighed. Continue your surveillance on her. I want her to be protected from any nearby hollows, do you understand? This is my desert. She is my prey. That means she is mine. I won't allow anybody to hog the fun. My fun. I hope you don't mind me asking, sir, but why the hassle? You could always use your gift to manipulate her to do your biddings willingly. Because I'm a cold, manipulative, self-obsessed bastard. Naruto patted his subordinate's shoulder and smirked. And mainly because I'm bored. Life wouldn't be fun if you can do anything, right? Don't fail me on this, Arturo. You know I hate failures. Tyr Haribel had attained supreme authority. As she evolved into the highest echelon of a Hollow's hierarchy, she became a feared Vasto Lord. She was a solitudinous warrior, but unlike other monstrosities who believed in dominance, she wanted to unravel the truth about Hueco Mundo. It was an inexorable fact that transforming into a Vasto Lord was an arduous task, but she believed she could bypass the limits of her capability. Tyr heard about the rumor of the legendary god of Hueco Mundo venturing the desert of Purgatory. Apparently, the Enigma possessed unfathomable powers that defied imaginations and waged war against Soul Society. What stunned her was the fact that he had returned unscathed and victorious. No Hollow could perform such an inconceivable task. Do you know greed is essential? It is vital to the survival of civilization. Naruto sat atop a boulder, taking a bite from his red apple. Tyr was an alpha predator. Her senses were honed to the extremity she could discern threats from afar. She was not terrorized by the intruder's unexpected visit, but his profound ability to bypass her detection skills. She carried a placid facade on her masked features and glared warily at the blonde. Who are you? Sentient beings are pertinacious. It is our nature. We will never be satisfied with what we have. That's why we strive to conquer others. Hollows prey on the weak to avoid being reverted into mindless drones, such as Minos Grande. But that's not the entire truth, is it? Naruto snickered and tossed the fruit away. Greed is a bottomless pit that requires an endless effort to satisfy a need that will never reach satisfaction. Tyr swung her blade and growled. I won't repeat twice. Who are you? Naruto dusted his coat and stood up. Avarice strikes deep and grows with more pernicious roots. Greed is the driving spirit of civilization. It compels growth and prosperity. It welcomes evolution and self-improvement. Tell me, how do you feel about limitation? Does it make you feel insecure about your survival? Do you not want elevation? Tyr grew impatient and raised her sword. However, she was paralyzed in fear when the blonde animated his frame before her. Tyr instinctively took retreating steps and was prudent about her dilemma. She still couldn't measure the man's strength, and it was unwise to strike the unknown. I wish to offer you the chance to heighten your capacity, Tyr Haribel. In exchange, I demand your service. The blonde narrowed her eyes in exasperation. You want my obedience? Naruto grinned. You are a clever girl, Tear. She stared gingerly at the anomalous entity. And if I refuse? Naruto shifted his sight at the granite sky and sighed. Do you know that Hueco Mundo used to be more than just an empty desert? It used to have more than just vegetation. It has a sun. A light source. Everything changed when Hueco Mundo lost its light. Do you know who took away the light from this realm? I'm sure you have an answer, do you? But that was just a myth. Tear gulped. They said it was the god of Hueco Mundo who did it. Ah, that's right. Naruto chuckled. I did it. Retsu was swirling her tube of virulent chemical and examined her experiment behind her opulent-framed spectacles. She scribbled down a few notes diligently on her clipboard and spoke with a melodic voice. Kiryu, be a dear and get me the buffer solution for me, please. The lieutenant nodded. Right away, Captain Unohana. Twirling around, Kiryu strolled towards her assigned destination, but was surprised when Tenjiro stood at the doorway. See Captain Kurinji. I need to speak with your commander in private, Lieutenant Hikifune. Please leave us. I can't do that, Kiryu protested. Kiryu. Retsu smiled as her gaze was fixated at her report. Didn't I tell you to get me the buffer solution? By all means move at a glacial pace. You know how that thrills me. But... Kiryu. The Shodai Kenpachi removed her glasses and sighed. I don't enjoy repeating such a simple instruction. All right. The lieutenant fearfully darted to her work, leaving Tenjiro in the laboratory with her superior. What do you wish to speak with me about? Coming here unannounced is unspeakable. Retsu narrowed her eyes. Her melodic voice exuded gravitas and authority. I might have excommunicated myself from my post as the commander of the 11th Division, but that doesn't mean I wasn't one of the 4 founders of Godai 13. You will respect that, won't you? Of course. Tenjiro sighed. I just need to talk to you about Captain Senjumaru's expedition. And why do I care about her? You should. The medical commander interjected. You can predict her fate, can't you? And what about it? I believe you deserve to know something. Arturo was marveled by Shitara's perseverance. Despite her agonizing starvation, she refused to consume the fruits. Her sense of honor and integrity intrigued him. He could somewhat comprehend his monarch's fascination over the dauntless Reaper. She was different. Under such horrendous plight, ordinary beings would have succumbed to insanity. The fire of valor in her eyes weren't extinguished. On the contrary, her determination had magnified. Arturo arched a brow. She would rather die than to receive help from an enemy? What an inane notion. Simply ludicrous. Has she lost her sense of rationality? Being rational is a tool, but not the only tool we possess. Naruto materialized his dynamic frame beside his subordinate with aloofness plastered on his comely features. She is unlike the many reapers I have slaughtered. They were cowardly and easily betrayed their conscience for survival. In the end, she chose to forfeit her life than to lose faith. You may think that is absurd, but I think it's admirable. The immortal phoenix bowed. Milord, have you? Nonsense. The blonde scowled. I don't have a heart, remember? Love is just a fraud. Do you know where does fraud derives from? I'll answer it for you. Greed. The mother of all sins. Love weakens you. It only makes you hesitate in battle and reveals to your enemy nothing but weaknesses. Arturo, do not suggest such blasphemy to me ever again. I apologize for my recklessness. Arturo sighed. But may I ask who is she? Oh yes. Naruto folded his arms and smiled. I almost forgot to introduce you to our newest associate. This is Tear Haribel. She is my assistant. Tear was garbed in an ebony striped blazer with shawl lapels that outlined her voluptuous frame, midnight blue shirt with turtleneck collar underneath the jacket, black dress pants, and a pair of shimmering stiletto heels. Her lustrous sunglow hair was decorated with braided locks. Bestowed with tremendous powers, Tear had her grotesque masks removed and revealed her bewitching features. Tear Haribel. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Arturo nodded. Arturo play to do. Henceforth, we will be comrades. Stay here. I will talk to Shotaro myself. Tear and Arturo bowed. As you wish, milord. With a snap of Naruto's fingers, reality shattered into static pieces and a medieval castle of gargantuan proportions manifested. The infrastructure resembled a palatial cathedral that stood in the epicenter of the barren wasteland. Naruto sat on his gothic throne and stared dispassionately at a bewildered Shotaro. The Romanesque nave was supported by golden Corinthian pillars engraved with pictorial tapestries, and the walls were imprinted with decorative mosaics. The sparkling stained glasses and clear-story windows cast ominous rays at the demonic sculptures displayed vividly throughout the hallway. Shatura inspected the marble tiles with her slender finger in disbelief and was awestruck. What the hell? This is a mere fragment of my powers, Shitara-chan. Naruto grinned. I can do more than just making a kingdom appears out of nowhere. What now? Shitara spoke with a hoarse voice. You have me cornered. Why don't you just kill me and end this escapade? Kill you? The blonde chuckled. That is unnecessary, Shitara-chan. Do you want to know why I chose to spare your life? Or Hana-chan's? It's simply, really. I believe it is Soul Society who should be held accountable for its actions. If you killed somebody with a sword, do you blame the sword? You are just being used as a tool. What is your goal? The fallen Reaper coughed. Naruto crossed his legs and smiled. To rupture the balance. The balance? You tried to burn the entire Soul Society into ashes, you monster. The blonde arched a brow. Why? Why would I want to destroy such a stunning thing? Soul Society is such a beautiful realm. It has endless potential to flourish. Then why? My goal is to erase the fallacy of God's creation. My goal is to destroy humanity. You're crazy. No. Naruto shook his head. There won't be a world if nobody takes risks. Humans are flawed. They are abominations. They don't deserve to live in this world. God created hairless apes with so many imperfections that it was ludicrous to think about it. And the Spirit King is his servant. I will not condone its existence. It must die. You fool! Shitara reprimanded. The Spirit King is the key to the balance. I told you, didn't I? My plan is to rupture the balance. Naruto interjected. Let me give you a little inside information about God. God is a maniacal prankster. He gave humans instincts and emotions. Instinct is such an extraordinary gift, and yet what did he do with it? For his amusement, he set the rules on opposition. I refused to bow. That is the reason why I became the god of Hueco Mundo. If there is no law in this world, we become nothing but animals. Shitara smirked. But you know that. After all, you're just a fucking anima. Before the Reaper could end her disparaging statement, Naruto flicked his wrist. Instantaneously, she was struck by a transcendental force that nearly knocked her consciousness out of her. Her limp body sailed through the atmosphere and crashed into a pillar. Don't cross me, and maybe I'll consider showing mercy. Naruto stood up from his regal throne and ambled in an autocratic gait towards the moaning Reaper. We will continue our conversation once you have understood your situation better. As if on cue, Tyr appeared behind her sovereign and bowed humbly. My lord. Throw her into prison. Make sure she gets the nutrients her body needs. Naruto smirked. You can use any methods necessary to make her comply with your demands. Just kill me. Naruto clicked his tongue and cupped Shitara's chin. Oh no. I will not hurt such a beautiful thing like you. I will make you submit your will voluntarily to me, Shitara-chan. I will break you, just like I broke Hana-chan. When this is over, you will understand that your hatred is misplaced. Soul Society has forsaken you. Your friends have deceived you. I am the only one in this world who doesn't want you dead. You will not get away from this. Naruto simply grinned. I already did. Irrelevant. Retsu inspected the data on her computer and informed, I already know about the Central 40 SIXS conspiracy. Your assistance is nugatory. Tenjiro arched a brow. Wait, you knew? All this time? Yes. The Shodai Kenpachi sighed. That is the reason why I'm developing a countermeasure against that monster's power. I have fought against him. I know what he is capable of. An ordinary Soul Reaper is no match against that hollow. That is why we need a monster. A monster that can stand against him. Are you not angry? Retsu shrugged. The Central 46 may be the king on the chessboard, but I'm the player. Then what are you going to do when you succeed on what you are doing? The Shodai Kenpachi glared menacingly at the medical commander and growled. When I catch Uzumaki Naruto, I'm going to cut him up and let him die slowly. You have to listen to me, Captain Unohana. Tenjiro converted his frustration into sympathy and softened his voice. Uzumaki Naruto has your mind completely messed up. You see him every place you look. Whatever he did to you has inflicted so much pain in you that you have become delusional. You think by doing all these will make you one step closer in defeating him, but he is just playing with you. Are you done talking? Retsu retorted. Help yourself to the door. Ichibai took a swig from the jug of hot sake and smirked. I must say, Captain Commander Yamamoto, you are a genius. You purposely fed Captain Korinji the truth, and used his sense of justice on him. You allowed him to tell Captain Unohana the truth so she would redirect her vengeance on both the Central 46th and Uzumaki Naruto, not knowing the puppeteer is actually you. Shigekuni tidied his paperwork and huffed. He wanted the truth. I gave him the truth. But you know he was faithful to his comrades. You exploited that and told him the truth so he would convey the message to Captain Unohana, thus fueling her anger. Ichibai chortled. It was well planned. The aged commander scowled. The truth is I was the one who disclosed Captain Unohana's past to Central 46. I allowed them to know the fact that she was a potential threat. The bureaucrats were gullible fools. They assumed she was criminally insane, so I led them to their belief. I fed them information that favors my intention. I acted as if I was Central 46's pawn. In reality, they were dancing in my palm the entire time. The monk sighed. Are you going to eliminate Uzumaki Naruto? Yes. He must die. Shigekuni nodded. I purposely sent Captain Senjumaru to Hueco Mundo. I know she won't be able to defeat the monster, but I know she won't die either. I was intrigued when Captain Unohana survived the confrontation. She was too much of a lone wolf to be let alive. But I thought about it, and it all makes sense. Ichibai arched a confused brow. And that is? He has a fetish for strong and powerful women. Like every alpha predator, they seek compatible mates. He is no different. The aged commander mused. He saw something in Captain Unohana that captivates him. It was her extraordinary willpower and strength. I wanted to test my epiphany, so I sent Captain Senjumaru for the task to verify my hypothesis. She will be my bait to get to that monster. And what makes you think she'll come back? Trust me, Captain Hyasub. Shigekuni smirked. She will. Naruto descended the labyrinth of stairs and arrived to the penitentiary. Tyr bowed with utmost respect at her jovial overlord and stood behind the blonde. Flailing his hand flamboyantly, Naruto smiled. So, how is she holding up? It has been weeks. I hope she didn't choose to starve herself to death. She has finally accepted the food, milord. Excellent. The blonde ambled with jaunty steps towards the Reaper's cell and smirked at the despondence scintillating in her dull eyes. So, you have finally decided to be cooperative. That's good. Now, we can have a rational conversation. Shotara sequestered herself in the lugubrious corner of her prison and hugged her knees, concealing her haggard features in the shadow. I just want it all to be over. Naruto sighed. I'm a little disappointed. Soul Society backstabbed you bad, my dear. Are you going to just sit back and let it happen? No fuss, no protest? That's not the real you. You don't know anything about me. You want revenge. And no, deep down your heart, you want Soul Society to suffer for what they have done to you. Their treachery, their deceits. You want to destroy the world of lies, don't you? No, I don't. Yes, you do, Shotara. In your gut, you know. Naruto smirked. She just needed a little push, and push he would give. Soul Society sold you out to me. They left you here to die by my hands, just like what they did to poor Hana-chan. They wanted you to be desecrated and eviscerated by me. And you know that. Their action almost led to your death. Well, if I was any lesser, you would already be in my stomach. Shotara looked away. For once in your life, Tara-chan, don't be the voice of reason. Be the voice of wrath. You just want to sow discord within the ranks of the Godai 13, don't you? Naruto smiled. A great man once said, the world is a stage, and all the men and women are mere players. Right. Absolutely. You can't just ask me to betray my world. Shotara protested. I'm the god of this world. I can do anything I want. What's your point? Naruto snickered, his enticing voice was echoing with sheer power. Besides, it's not you who betrayed your world. It's your world that betrayed you. So, what do you say? Ignite that fire of vengeance inside your soul and join me. And what do I get in return? Naruto simply smiled. What you always wanted. Naruto slurped his ramen in an indignant fashion, much to his subordinate's dismay. Tossing his bowl away, the blonde beamed fervently and let out a belch of content. Ah. Good stuff. It has been a while since I let loose and have ramen for lunch. Good job, Tyr-chan. Tyr hid her miserable blush and retained an indifferent composure. It is my pleasure to serve, milord. Shotara, having recovered from malnourishment, was still unnerved by Naruto's distorted voice that echoed throughout the opulent dining hall. She stared warily at the lackadaisical conqueror and cleared her throat. So, what now? I'm sure you have some evil plans for me. You have locked me up in your palace for a week now. Patience, woman. Patience. Naruto snickered as he wiped his mouth with a napkin. Now let's discuss about our exigent problem, shall we? The old geezer never wanted you to kill me in the first place. He knew very well that if he was unable to hurt me, nobody could. Still, he deliberately sent you here on an impossible conquest to slay me. Don't you think that sounds ludicrous? So, there is an ulterior motive. Shatara arched a brow. Naruto smirked. Absolutely. You were bait from the very start. He wants to use you to verify his theory. Verify his theory? That old fart is obsolete. After I defeated him, I'm sure he has been conniving like a scrawny little bitch. The blonde sighed. If he doesn't get what he wants, he will resort to obnoxious tactics. I may be powerful, but he's petty. He has this fierce need for control. He fancies himself as a lord of all he surveys. In other words, if you return without providing him substantial evidence of my execution, he will obliterate you. Therefore, in order to preserve your life, I must forfeit something valuable to you. Without hesitation, Naruto materialized his nefarious Odachi into his grasp and sliced his finger off, stupefying Tear and Shatara. The nonchalant blonde licked his blood and watched as his dissected finger regenerated. Take my finger to that old fart. Tell him you found my weak spot. The Reaper blanched as she collected the bifurcated finger. Have you ever tried to make peace with our kind before? The blonde chuckled. Peace? Peace is a mere illusion fabricated by warmongers to promote their cause. The truth is it is impossible to attain peace. We are only productive at war. Hollows and Soul Reapers will never coexist in harmony. There are existential differences. Insurmountable. If there were to be unity between both races, it wouldn't be a truce so much as a submission. Shatara balled her trembling fist. But if you never try, it will never work, my dear. Naruto exuded an authoritarian aura as he stood up from his regal throne and strolled towards a painting, which depicted a battlefield of bedlam and chaos. Peace is an overused word. Everybody uses it, but that's all it is. Word. Nothing more. In the end, it all comes down to pride, greed, and vanity. It is because we possess such detrimental qualities, war becomes inevitable. There will never be an end to our strife for domination. The fight will never stop, not until one side is completely destroyed. Shatara averted her frightful gaze. She had witnessed the philosophical devil's almighty powers. If the harbinger of apocalypse waged war against Soul Society, the raven-haired beauty feared that Naruto's campaign would herald the extinction of her race. Is that even possible? The blonde shrugged. Who knows? I am the primogenitor of my race and I have experienced the passing of many great eras. One thing for sure. Soul Society and Hueco Mundo have existed since forever. You would think a century of self-reflection will cease the vicious cycle of hatred. However, when one preaches justice, the others would seek vengeance. Our worlds are ruled by hatred. I have lived for centuries and I can foretell our future. Tear stood in a sequestered corner of the grand chamber, listening zealously to her monarch's profound speech. Naruto softened his gaze and eyed the chandelier hung on the ceiling, which was decorated with mosaic tiles. We are incapable of understanding each other. That is the fallacy of sentient creations. We are plagued by our incessant needs for personal satisfaction. It motivates us to commit sins. It is why humans should perish, because they are our roots. Once I rupture the balance, our world will gain freedom. Your plan is insane. Shatara looked away. You won't win this war, Uzumaki. You don't even know the extent of the Spirit King's power. Even if you manage to kill the Spirit King, the gods will stop you. The blonde simply chuckled. Spirit King? Gods? Power is not given to you by birth. Power is achieved by aggression and manipulation. You preach about God's existence. Such absurd notion. Let me enlighten you. Mortals are created to serve. That's why they require guidance for their pathetic lives. The source of their guidance derives from a superior being. God. A makeshift entity created by frail humans to depend upon. That's why humans are such an insufferable race. It is in their nature to crave subjugation. Why do you resent the world so much? Shatara fumed. Are you not humans once? I was, unfortunately. And I despise my memories of my past life. It only exists to taunt me. Naruto slotted his fists in his pockets and heaved a heavy sigh. There will never be salvation. Peace is an idealism that will never be reality. These are cold, hard facts. My existence is a symbol of retribution. Even if I were to be killed, somebody will rise to uphold my mantle. My idea is immortal. The blonde ambled to the table and snatched a glass of champagne. Besides, if the Reapers were doing their job, I wouldn't be what I am today, no? Shatera bit her lips. The Conqueror made a point. He wouldn't become the repugnant adversary of all creations if the Reapers weren't engrossed in hunting hollows and instead prioritized their duties to liberate wandering souls. So, when will I be leaving? Naruto took a sip from his alcoholic beverage and smirked. You will leave when I've completed my task. Tear-chan, please provide our guest gracious hospitality in my absence. Your wish is my command. Where are you going? Shatera rose to her feet and blinked nervously. I didn't think you would care. I am not. I just. Naruto abruptly manifested his robust frame before the startled brunette and cupped her delicate chin. Delivering a peck on her cheek, the blonde smiled with a debonair charm. Hush, my dear. I have an errand to run. I will be back soon. Don't miss me too much. Retsu browsed through her files, identifying potential recruits to join her division. She desired to obtain an ingenious protege to improve her research and aid her in her endeavors to shatter the boundaries between Soul Reapers and Hollows. Kiryu, the faithful lieutenant, sat beside her mistress and observed the data. Captain, have you found any freshmen you wish to induct? Yes. I do. The Shodai Kenpachi flipped through the archives and smiled. I may have found our newest member. And who may it be? The violet-haired lieutenant arched a brow. Retsu presented the file to Kiryu. His name is Kasuk. I read his journal article about the boundary between Soul Reapers and Hollows. He also wrote about his hypothesis of breaking the boundary. I must say that it is a fascinating read. The lieutenant accepted the docket and skimmed through the content with avid interest. Urahara Kasuk? His academic records are pretty bland. Average student. He has no exceptional talent in swordsmanship. His exam scores fluctuate, barely consistent. Captain, why him? He is an excellent choice, Kiryu. Have faith with your captain. The Shodai Kenpachi grinned. Bring him in. I will interview him myself. Right away, Captain Unohana. Venturing through the harsh dunes of the unforgiving desert, Naruto arrived to a dilapidated house. He heard rumors speculating about a newborn Vastalord with a deranged disposition who massacred the entire forest infested with a colony of horrific monstrosities. Naruto dusted his frock coat and strolled to the decrepit door. I'm looking for. Get the hell out of my house. Naruto blinked and knocked on the derelict door. I only wish to. The door opened abruptly and revealed a violet-haired woman with voluptuous proportion glaring menacing daggers at the blonde. Concealing her enthralling features was an intimidating mask with jagged fangs resembling a tigress. She toyed with her chrome-plated pistol and ruffled her tousled hair. What do you want from me? Are you Rebecca? It's Revi, the woman corrected with annoyance. What's it to ya? My name is Uzumaki Naruto. I heard about you. The devil's advocate, The god of Hueco Mundo. Big names for a squirt like you. Revi smirked and aimed her handgun at Naruto's forehead. Are you here to kill me? On the contrary, I'm here to seek your allegiance. Give me one good fucking reason why you ain't like those cocksuckers that I killed? Give me one reason why I shouldn't just blow your fucking head off right here, right now. The blonde frowned displeasingly at the abrasive woman's profanity and blatant animosity. Retaining a placid facade, the conqueror had noticed the gunslinger was an anomaly. Her evolution was magnificent as she retained a remnant of her humanity, a distinctive trait he discovered in Tyr and Arturo. It seems you have an unquenchable thirst for bloodshed. I can assist you to sedate your famine for souls while elevating your powers to newer heights. Oh yeah? Revi arched a dubious brow. I'm sure there ain't such thing as free fucking lunch. What's your deal? I told you, didn't I? I seek your loyalty. Naruto smiled with an enticing benevolence. I am building an empire. A kingdom cannot flourish without an armed force. I need commanders with exceptional talents to rally my troops, implement cultures and enforce discipline. I heard about your exploits, and I acknowledge your strength. I am offering you a position in my ranks. Revi contemplated. She might be reckless, but she was not a fool. The devil's supremacy was unrivaled and his notoriety, as the mightiest predator of Hueco Mundo, was unchallenged too. You want me to be your subordinate? Associate, Naruto rectified. I can give you a purpose. Or you can continue your languorous life in this wasteland, seeking an answer for your existence. It is a mundane endeavor that will lead you nowhere. How about the last option? I blow your fucking head off. I welcome you to try. The blonde chuckled. You will find that I don't die that easily. You're not even giving me any options. Reveille grasped her head to ease her migraine. She was somewhat honored to be recognized for her strength. Damn it! Thinking gives me headaches. Naruto spun around. A new life of adventure or a boring life of daily routines? I'm not overly fond of routines though. Well, that's just me. Think about it. The blonde trekked away, mentally counting down. Wait. He grinned triumphantly. Barrigan Lusenbairn was an egocentric and a tyrannical ruler who desired to marshal a horde of subservient soldiers to govern the realm. He was reputable as the king of bones, and his paramount powers were a force to be reckoned with. Naruto arrived to a crumbled coliseum and stood at the epicenter of an arena. He surveyed his environment with disdain and cringed. What a distasteful choice for a hideout. You tread on my property, stranger. Who might you be? Barrigan, a ghastly specter of skeletal features who wore a crown ornamented with jewels, eyed the intruder dispassionately. Are you here to pledge your devotion to me? Or are you here to give me your soul to feast upon? Your mouth is clearly as big as your ego. Naruto smiled. I take it that you're the Barrigan? Barrigan chuckled. Guilty as charged. So, what do you want, Aunt? I want to recruit you, Barrigan. I need powerful allies who are willing to join my pantheon. I envision raising a garrison of patriots who fight under my hegemony. It will be a revolution. Naruto stroked his sapphire ring and discerned murderous intent emanating from the skeleton emperor. I hate to break it to you, Barrigan. You lack integrity. Your pedigree is feeble. Your legislation is flawed. I could go on, but we'd be here for days. So manifolds are your faults, so deficient are your merits. You dare barge into my territory, coerce my peace, and disparage my dictatorship? Barrigan growled. This is a pointless banter. I will make you suffer for your ignorance. Men! Exterminate this vermin for his denigration. A swarm of barbaric hollows charged towards the unperturbed Naruto. Remorselessly, the blonde unsheathed his malevolent blade and evaded a raging bull's assault before beheading the beast with a fluid slice. Swinging his odachi with stylish grace, Naruto discharged a virulent wave of energy at his foes, decapitating the horde in the process. Naruto unleashed a dreadful spiritual pressure, and the stadium was demolished instantly. The bewildered skeletal emperor was in trepidation as the formidable intruder had performed genocide without a hint of repentance. This atrocity. How dare you? Naruto stared laxly at the quavering fleet of primitive hollows and beckoned. You sure you want to do this? I'm just going to slaughter you all. And for what? Because that oppressor over there asks you to do so? Join me. All of you. Together, we can build a nation. My plan is thriving. Join me and I promise you that you will not regret this prudent decision. After all, the weak seeks the strong for protection and self-preservation, no? Come to me. The blonde chortled in glee as the hollows bowed before him. I work along befits the greater good, Barrigan. You may beg to differ, but it's all a matter of perspective. There is no path through life that does no harm. I would not say what I did was just. I simply wish to give Hueco Mundo a better future. With my reign, I will guarantee order and structure. With my reign, I will bring prosperity. Your reign? The skeletal emperor scoffed. You are nothing but a delusional fool. Naruto sighed. For once, put that arrogant attitude of yours aside and think rationally. Can you reshape this world? Do you even have the power necessary to alter the future as we speak? I am the Alpha and Omega. I am the god of Hueco Mundo. I can change this world. You can choose to reject my invitation, but your loss is more or less affirmed. After all, you cannot deny the fact that I am stronger than you in every aspect of the word. Barrigan drummed his bony fingers on the armrests of his Gothic throne and grunted. Join me, Barrigan. Become the commander of my army. I promise you. You will not regret it. Shatara strolled through the tenebrous hallway, accompanied by Arturo. She could discern and gauge the attendant's strength. The Reaper was genuinely astonished by the fact that Arturo's tremendous strength rivaled any captain in Soul Society. So, how long have you been serving that jerk? Arturo blinked. I take it you're referring to Lord Naruto. I have been serving him for years. He gave me power and knowledge. He taught me the ways of life. I did not know why he chose me, but I am forever in his debt. Oh? So his power has always been so bizarre? Shatara probed. I mean, how can anybody be that powerful? Honestly, I do not know. And I did not inquire either. He told me about how Hueco Mundo used to be separated into 5 continents, but something happened. I am, however, sure that he has been roaming in this purgatory for centuries. The immortal phoenix retorted. His sovereignty is absolute, Shitaradano. It is a preposterous notion to suggest otherwise. I have only once managed to catch a glimpse of his powers. The Reaper cocked a baffled brow. And? I have never been so terrified. Naruto soared through the granite sky and caught a glimpse of a fierce thunderstorm hovering atop a mountain. Gravity intensified in astounding degrees and the blonde struggled in his flight. Channeling arcane energy, Naruto blitzed towards the disturbance while an outburst of sonic ripples exploded beneath his feet. Landing gracefully on an earthen platform, the blonde furrowed his brows. It's rare to find lightning in this barren wasteland. Lightning. It flashes bright, then fades away. It can't protect. It only destroys, an alluring voice interjected. Why have you come? Naruto diverted his sight to an exquisite Valkyrie who sat on her frozen throne. She had a slender physique and her elegant armor resembled an angelic paladin. Her jousting helmet exposed the vibrant curls of her vibrant orchid pink hair. She crossed her legs and tilted her head in confusion. Are you not going to answer me, god of Hueco Mundo? I'm sorry. I was simply marveled by your beauty. I heard about you, Claire Farron. Brave beyond measure. Loyal and intelligent. Peerless in character. And unshakable in conviction. Naruto smiled with an inveigling charisma. I need talents such as yours to aid me in my crusade. I am building an empire, Claire. I may be powerful, but an army cannot operate without commanders. The Valkyrie chuckled. Your flattery will not get you anywhere. For me, there is nothing worth to strive. There is no reason for me to fight. There is no hope. I am to be blamed for many sufferings. I would have chained myself in this crystal tomb and become an eternal epitaph if you did not intervene. Naruto took a bold step forward. You have lost faith. However, you have a purpose now, Claire. I plan to revolutionize this realm and reshape it as my vision denotes. I need competent allies to unite my battalions and legislate policies. I used to see the world the way it is, unwilling to make changes. Now, I wish to see the world as it would be. My empire will be born of a realization. It shall require no creed. No indoctrination. I only wish to bear the sorrow of the dead in this dead dune. It is my atonement. The blonde shook his head. No. If you give up, you will not become a memory. You become nothingness. It is the worst punishment you can inflict on yourself. It is unnecessary. It is foolish. There are so many things that need to be done. So many obstacles to be overcome. Once I remodeled Hueco Mundo, this world shall be different, and you will live to see it. Nobody truly desires death. They just want to find a will to live. Allow me to keep your hope alive. Give me your servitude and I will give you the will to live. A will to live? Claire muttered with an enchanting voice. Keep my hope alive? Serve me, Claire. Naruto grinned. And I will show you a better future. I will drag you out of the chaos that is suffocating you and bring forth salvation. I decide my own future. The blonde chuckled. Then I hope you choose a bright one. The Valkyrie sighed. Call me Lightning. Ophis Vinminivilia, the dragon god of Hueco Mundo, was unlike an ordinary hollow. She was bestowed with nigh omnipotence and had fought with the god of Hueco Mundo to a stalemate for several times in the past. Their battles had ripped the desert apart. Her ferocity was unsurpassed, but those who triggered her wrath only knew death. She was the embodiment of calamity, but preferred to be recluse. When Naruto decided to visit her stronghold, she was surprised. Are you here to settle our scores? I believe the last time we fought, you weren't completely serious. I am unpleased, my dear little fox. The blonde took a sip from his saucer of wine and sighed aloud. He gazed with an impassive temerity at the majestic dragon, which had shimmering obsidian scales that seeped rivulets of potent energy. Its draconic mask had a pair of protruding diabolical horns, and its titanic wings sprouted with glorified pride. It seems you never change, Ophis. The mammoth dragon snickered impishly. You too, Foxy. I'm here to offer you a proposal, Ophis. Naruto smirked. I will be frank with you. I am building a kingdom in this world. I need ample resources. I wish to enlist your help. Lend me your strength, Ophis, and I will let you hear the clamor of revolution. Ophis chortled mockingly. Why should I help you? You don't deserve my aid. After our last battle, my home was leveled. I have to migrate to another place to settle down, you insolent idiot. Naruto sighed as he unsheathed his sword. It seems your decision is what I have anticipated. Words will not sway your thoughts. I will prove it to you. I will defeat you and make you comprehend my perspective. You will join me, Ophis. Defeat me and prove to me your superiority, Naruto. Or you can surrender to me and meet your death. The ebony leviathan roared and the desert suffered an ungodly earthquake that shattered the nearby mountains. Today shall be the day I deliver submission. You will kneel before me. Naruto grinned. Nothing will forestall the rise of my empire. You must be Urahara Kisuke. Kiryu narrowed her eyes and stroked her chin. I really don't see anything special about you. Kisuke, a freshman, scratched his scalp and chuckled nervously. Yeah? I'm truly honored to be inducted into the science department. Who say anything about induction? The lieutenant deadpanned. But. You were told that Captain Unohana has recommended you to join the barracks. However, you are not informed that you have been enlisted into the 12th Division yet. Kiryu smirked and patted a deflated Kisuke's shoulder. But don't worry. I'm sure Captain Unohana has her reasons for choosing you as her junior assistant. So is your captain a scary person? It's best you get to know her by yourself. The bubbly lieutenant guffawed. She is very unpredictable. Try not to piss her off if you cherish your life. Kisuke swallowed hard. Is she that scary? Oh, you have no idea. Naruto sat on a barrel and tidied his peaked collar. Gazing insouciantly at the soporific moonlight, the blonde smiled. On any given day, I will never ask such a daring request from you. However, in order to seek for a better future, I need reliable resources and adequate commanders to take charge. I plan to build an empire. You are the infamous Dark King, Silver Rayleigh. Your strength is indomitable. You are the perfect candidate. What do you say? Join me. A diabolical knight donned in azure armor, battered cape, and malicious horned helmet was accompanied by the apathetic blonde. Rayleigh was an imposing entity who possessed overwhelming power and emitted a domineering aura. He was the nightmare of all monsters that roamed the hostile desert. He cocked a perplexed brow behind his malevolent helmet. Join you? Empire? I'm too old for this charade. Then live a little longer to enjoy it. This is destiny, Rayleigh. You and I are meant to do great things. Don't waste your eternity indulging in your cannibalistic instincts. Release your potential to contribute for a better world. Destiny? Contribute? What nonsense. Just leave me alone and go away. You are strong, Rayleigh. With your alliance, my cavalry will become unconquerable. Admit it, old friend. Whoever governs Hueco Mundo must have the will in him. Or give it up. The position of supremacy is not a trivial affair. Together, we can change everything. We will start removing disorder, repairing the dysfunctional evolutionary tautology of survival of the fittest that is driving our species to extinction, and compel our people to embrace a cohesive society. Sounds like fun, don't you think? Hey, don't go decide things for me. Stop being uncertain about the unknown. Let's do this, Rayleigh. Let's take this world by storm. Are you not the god of Hueco Mundo? Rayleigh buried his foot in the sand and sighed. I'm sure you can fulfill your dreams and… Meh. That is just an epithet. A symbol of dominance and destruction. Naruto chuckled. I don't even know who gave it to me. I just assumed the role as the god of this world. God is an abstract notion. Hollows never really have power, only the illusion of it. The truth is they don't want it. The responsibility is too great to bear, and they still have their carnal instincts to overcome. They want to be told what to do. They yearn for a great leader. And they aspire to make changes in this godforsaken wasteland. As a god, I serve to inspire. And what makes you think you are qualified to rule? The blonde smirked confidently. Someone needs to make a stand. As I walk this empty desert, I see how our kind preys on each other to survive. I see how the weak has no say to anything, even in their death. What can be done to stop this madness and depravity? I ponder for years. I do not think dialogue will make significant differences, especially when the majority of our kinds are savages. I can only think how nobody is willing to make the first step. Because no one else will, I feel obligated to do it. Well, better me than some demented absolutist. In your haste to change this world, take care you don't destroy it. Rayleigh patted Naruto's shoulder. I'll live a little longer. See how this turns out. I hope you entertain me with your plans, Naruto-kun. Kisuke believed he was in a dilemma. It wasn't the opposing aura Captain Unohana emanated that intimidated him, or her unparalleled beauty that confounded him. It was the fact that his commander-to-be was studying him with an unsettling intensity that it frightened him. She was pervading his comfort zone with just a mere stare. Ma'am, I was told to report to your… Do you know what this department is about? The Shodai Kenpachi removed her glasses and scowled. Can you even comprehend what this organization aspires? I do, Kisuke muttered. No, you don't. Retsun narrowed her eyes. The gravitas she exuded was smothering the blonde. I don't like liars. I didn't, I mean, I'm just kidding. The commander chuckled. Don't be so tense. I am not going to kill you. Kisuk feigned laughter and fidgeted. Why, yeah. Of course not. I mean, you can kill me so easily if you want. Retsu stopped her chortling abruptly and blinked. You say something? And nothing. Excellent. The Shodai Kenpachi chirped. Let's start with the interview, shall we? I read your report. Why did you express interest with the science division? We are, after all, a very new organization standing on a shaky foundation. Kisuk cleared his throat and regained his composure. Well, I'm always interested in aerodynamic and biomedical engineering. You may be wondering about my grades in the academy. With all due respect, ma'am, but if you have revised through the coursework, you will find many flaws in the curriculum. I mean, why did the academy refuse to fund the battle simulation project? And the academy should promote physical training. Why the hell did they prioritize it during the last year of our coursework? I mean, it makes no sense. Retsu tilted her head. You talk too much. Oh, I'm sorry. The blonde swallowed hard. I talk a lot when I'm nervous. The Shodai Kenpachi tidied her documents and smiled. Welcome abroad, Kisuk. My expectation is simple. I want to see results. You give me what I want and I assure you your days here will be a pleasant one. I realize you do not have the necessary experience. Frankly, this is a new department. I, however, would not have recruited you amongst my ranks if I do not have complete faith in your capability to succeed. Oh? That's it. I mean, of course. Kisuk smiled uneasily. The sudden burden atop his shoulders somewhat felt heavy. I will not fail you, ma'am. Naruto gazed upon the river of blood with a solemn demeanor. He had embarked on an arduous journey to search for the legendary god of war, rumored to possess insatiable thirst for vengeance, in Hueco Mundo. Naruto stumbled across a man, with a Hulk physique, sitting atop a tower of mutilated corpses. You must be Kratos Sparta, the god of war, slayer of gods, destroyer of worlds. Quite an infamous reputation you have there. I heard many great things about your exploits. Who's asking? It was a monocratic voice of a warlord, and it sounded exhausted. I am Naruto Uzumaki. I have heard. Kratos murmured. You are the ruler of this desert. They told me about your deeds and how you conquer Soul Society. And who might they be? Naruto arched a curious brow. The warlord pointed a finger at the macabre blood splashed on the sand. You are standing on them. The beasts I have slayed have told me that the king of the desert would one day come to end my madness. I hope you precede your reputation, God. I believe you are a man with honor. A man who sternly believes action speaks louder than words. I respect that. The blonde manifested his blade into his grasp and smirked. Truth be told, I too am a man of actions. If I defeat you, will you aid me in my crusade to build an empire? You want me to place my faith in you? All sentient creatures place their faith in someone more powerful than them, and they cannot live without such indulgence. Naruto unleashed an inconceivable spiritual pressure, decimating the surroundings in the process. The one who receives that faith seeks out someone who stands at a higher pedestal to soothe the overbearing pressure. This is how god kings are born. You do not need to believe in me yet, Kratos. The god of war was stupefied as he was struggling to raise his blades. This power, it's even more overwhelming than mine. That's not possible. A god comprehends what his people needs, what they want, and he must be cognizant of his people's values and belief to stir their hearts. I know what you want, Kratos. You want redemption. I am inclined to give it to you. You have not encountered a worthy foe yet, but that doesn't mean you are the apex predator. Allow me to show you what a god is capable of. Subscribing to my proposition comes later. Naruto charged forward and the imminent explosions were cataclysmic. Captain Commander Yamamoto sat on his respective seat in the council hall, accompanied by his lieutenant. The politicians and governors of Soul Society had gathered to open a discourse with the veteran general of their military, and shared his views about the god of Hollow. After all, Shigekuni had fought the beast and survived to tell the tale. Commander, I am sure you are aware why we have summoned you here for this meeting. The aged commander nodded. We are here to discuss the prospect of the uprising threat that is Uzumaki Naruto, and the questionable security of our realm. I understand everybody is in fright. However, fear is not the appropriate reaction. Right now, Suriidia is in ruins. It is the perfect opportunity for that monster to attack us again. So that begs the question. Why didn't he? The bureaucrats gulped. Their anxiety was palpable in the conference room. Perhaps he is recovering as well? Unlikely. There will be a moment when Naruto realizes he alone cannot triumph. He has all the qualities of a leader, so why shouldn't he lead? That realization will compel him to envisage his own kingdom. Captain Commander Yamamoto carried an inscrutable visage as he stared at the mewling councilman. Whether you want to accept or not to accept is not dependent on your likings. Question is, will Naruto's campaign prosper? Apprehension etched on the governor's face as he queried. Are you saying he is going to build an empire to destroy us? What is the context of his hatred towards us? Could such a shenanigan be a result from the beast's primal nature? Shigekuni sighed. He may be a beast, but naked aggression is not his style. It might contradict his crimes, but I honestly don't think he will simply build an army and proceed to attack us. It is too simple for both you and him. No. He would strike fear to our hearts by humiliating us first. He will use everything in his power to bring us to our knees as he savages victory. I am not going to allow that to happen. But how can you justify that when we are clearly in danger? And you are no exception in this plight. The aged captain clenched his fists and seethed. Let me assure you something, councilman. I am not in danger. I am the danger. Flinching from the sheer ferocity of Shigekuni's tone, the hall became unsettlingly quiet. We were unprepared when he launched his attack. He knew we would not repeat the same mistake. We must have the resolution and capacity to settle this war quickly. Because this is a different kind of war. The opposing side is not in uniform, but we are. As for the context of his hatred, I believe every creature in this universe is built to harbor the desire to rule. What do you think is appropriate to embolden our troops' morale? We have lost a battle against a single hollow. We also know Captain Unohana has lost in her endeavor to defeat that monster. What do you think we should do? Less than a decade ago, I advised the council to strengthen our barracks. We may have been in peace after this council was constituted, but you were convinced that nothing can possibly be a threat to us. Our guards were down as a consequence. The aged captain responded with a diplomatic tone. It is no use asking me now for my opinion what you should have decided before. We got to live with today, not what it might have been the day before yesterday. Therefore, I propose that you give me the right to remodel the curriculum of the academy, adjusting the schematics of our soldiers' requisite skills and the power to enact impromptu laws during the period of any crisis. The councilman hesitated warily. I have talked to Captain Unohana after her espionage mission. She has told me that the monster has the desire to build a unified nation in Hueco Mundo. That means his movement has been set in motion. We are running out of time. If you believe we can still stand idly by and not expect an invasion, then you are making a grave mistake. Because the next time he comes, he will bring an army to us. Right now, we are vulnerable. But I can help you change that. Shigekuni scowled. I am sure you have brought me here to seek my advice. My solution is simple. Give me what I want, and I will provide a capable security for Seoul society. You, of all people, should know the Eastern Desert belongs to me. Why have you invaded my sanctuary, God of Hollow? The Light Hollow was dressed in a black dress with a comical bunny mask adorning her face. Her golden locks were tied in pigtails. She was accompanied by her elderly butler, a Hollow dressed in a formal tuxedo and had a ferocious wolf mask concealing his aged features. It has been a while, hasn't it? Naruto pocketed his fists. Queen of Vampires, Rachel Alucard. Wolf King, Valkenhayn Helsing. That was in the past, Lord Naruto. I believed you have exceeded my reputation. Valkenhayn took a graceful bow and smiled. I am now Lady Rachel's attendant. You don't need to be modest with me, Valkenhayn. You were once regarded as the persona of the apocalypse. Rachel coughed, interrupting the conversation as she spoke with a distinctive accent. Are we going to continue addressing each other with our epithets? Why are you here, Fox-san? Revolution is in the air. Naruto grinned, shifting his attention to the blonde Hollow. Meeting you is very much a coincidence, though. There are no such thing as coincidence, my dear. Rachel rested her elbow on the armrest of her Gothic throne. There is only the illusion of coincidence. Revolution, you say? There are many men who came before you, seeking my assistance. They were buried alive by the avalanche of their incompetence. What makes you think you are so different? I am not death. I am not the destroyer of worlds. Naruto smirked. However, I can promise you an empire where its people shares a common goal. I can assure you that the new era will bring forth a better future. It will be a world of justice and stringent laws. Policies will be made. Laws will be safeguarded. Senseless cannibalism and meaningless carnage will be abolished. I have already found the cure to quench the endless thirst for souls that our race has been suffering for millenniums. I need only your cooperation. The cure for our race? Rachel raised a brow of piqued interest. How can you guarantee your victory in the upcoming war? Those who oppose me will be crushed, that I guarantee you. Before creation, there must be destruction. I have led the apocalypse to this plane of existence once. It is time I bring upon a new age. The vampire queen took a sip from her cup of tea and smiled. Now, having just met you after such a long time, I wouldn't go as far as calling you a cold-hearted bastard. Naruto merely chuckled. Of course not. But it wouldn't be a stretch to imagine. Rachel's saccharine smile was dipped with venomous disdain as she continued, I know your type. You think of women as disposable pleasure, rather than meaningful pursuits. Do not misjudge me. I did not become what I am today by the grace of someone else's charity. So as charming as you are, God, I will keep my interest as priority. I wouldn't hope for any less. As I implied before, I seek only your allegiance. It seems like you wish to amalgamate every kingdom in Hueco Mundo and become the sovereign of a new world. The Gothic queen narrowed her eyes. He who wishes to wear the crown must bear its weight. Are you capable of such feat? Are you able to soar to the heavens with your dreams and hopes intact? Or are you going to crash into the unforgiving ground called reality? You clearly underestimate what I am capable of. Naruto chuckled. Why don't you be a witness yourself? Be part of my dream and soar to the heavens with me, Rachel. Captain Hyasub snickered as he poured the steaming oolong tea from the pot into a cup. You knew, didn't you? People are only motivated by fear, hunger, and money. After the monster's invasion, Suriidi's treasury is in jeopardy. The cost of repair will inadvertently force the council to use their reserve to sustain the economy. The nobles will not let the council plunder their fortunes. An imminent civil conflict will arise. The fear is too much for them to bear. Shigekuni drank his tea and smiled. I knew they would summon me. They can't afford to wage war against the nobles. I just didn't expect it to come so soon. I see. Ichibai stroked his beard. You played the role of a humble and submissive servant, knowing full well they will rely upon your knowledge and experience when the time comes. You use that to make them give you additional rights to govern Suriidii and subsequently Soul Society. They are bureaucrats. They want the truth. I gave them cold hard facts. What they really want is the convenient truth, because they can handle it. Ichibai, we live in a world that has walls. Those walls are guarded by the right men. Who's going to guard it? Those lofty politicians? I have a great responsibility that even the Central 46 cannot fathom. They have the luxury to not know what I know. The aged captain snorted. We use honor, integrity, loyalty as the foundation of this institution. Those bureaucrats can never understand it. They are so easily manipulated. They are a pathetic bunch of cranky hypocrites. Captain Hyasub listened aptly and drank his tea. What is your next step, sir? The Central 46 has always held their share of power over Godii 13. However, their policies will only bring our white city crumbling to ruins. This realm will not cease to exist. I will not allow it. Those politicians rise and sleep under the roof of the very freedom that I provide and have the audacity to question the manner in which I provided. Now they have forfeited those rights. I will rule Suriidii as I please. The monk arched a brow. What about Uzumaki Naruto? He won't launch his attack so soon. It would be unwise. He knows that I know he is coming. Where is the surprise in that? He is a man with a strong sense of theater. He wants attention. It won't be long before he returns Captain Senjumaru to us. He wants us to know he has the power to kill both Captain Unohana and Captain Senjumaru, but he chose not. Because he is waiting for the precise moment to announce the horror and desolation of war that he will lead. That means we have ample time to rebuild the Godii 13. That's right. Shigekuni chortled. It won't be long when I get what I want. I always get what I want. The Godii 13. This world. The King of Souls. Everything is falling into place. Uzumaki Naruto, just keep playing your part as the villain. The one who will kill you and be a hero will be me. The god of Hollow shifted a chess piece to his desired space and a jubilant smirk crept up his lips. Checkmate. You lost too many times, Arturo. It makes me wonder if you're trying. The immortal phoenix let out a somber sigh. Your tactics are unorthodox, my lord. It's hard to predict what you're trying to do next. Not that I want to interrupt or anything, but when are you planning to let me go, Uzumaki? Shatera was peeved. She thought she could leave the moment Naruto returned to the palace, but he decided to stall her departure. She might have recovered, but she was powerless against his indisputable strength. That didn't mean she would sit idly by and not be exasperated by the god-awful tension between them. You said you have a plan for me? Of course I do. You can't just expect that old fool to buy your story that easily, right? You couldn't possibly escape my clutches unscathed. If you were to return to him with my finger, it would only delay the inevitable. Naruto took a delicate sip from his glass of distilled spirit and chuckled. He trusts nobody, not even his own men. He will find a way to kill you to ensure you won't betray him. Shatera blinked. If you look at it that way. It is the truth. The god of Hollow leaned back into his throne and sighed. May it be humans or reapers, creatures who are capable of love are capable to hate. It all comes down to the idea of survival. We all are willing to betray others in order to survive. There is no wrong in deceiving others to win. Stepping over others to become the beast of all beasts. That is our nature. That old fool has been stepping over dead bodies since the genesis of all realms. Perhaps I have more body counts on my side, but our hands are still soaked deep in blood. He is not going to hesitate to silence you to ensure his greater good is met. The Soul Reaper moved a fringe of hair behind her ear. But I didn't know you're mingling with those filthy reapers nowadays. A mahogany-haired woman, with voluptuous proportions and a valiant disposition, marched into the chamber. Grotesque armor adorned her slender appendages and curvaceous body. Her intriguing features were the pair of skeletal wings, consisted of elongated segmented spikes, on her back. She was a xenogenic hollow who existed without a mask, but had tributaries of violet veins on her temples. It has been a while, Naruto. Sarah Kerrigan, my hottest teacher. Naruto was exhilarated, almost euphoric when he saw the ancient hollow. Shatera, however, noticed indescribable rage and a trinket of sympathy gleaming in his eyes, but she made no attempt to comment that contradiction. Whoever was capable of impaling a maelstrom of emotions into a fearless god like Naruto was a force to be reckoned with. The blonde made a suave smile and opened his arms. What brings you here? A sardonic grin smeared the enigma's beautiful features as her dauntless gaze bored deep into Naruto's soul. I heard about what you have been doing. Recruiting powerful hollows under your command. How wonderful. The Dragon God. The God of War. The Dark King. You're playing the big leagues now, aren't you? You make me so proud. Naruto stood up from his throne and eyed Sarah with mixed feelings. I didn't recall allowing you to enter my sanctuary. Why are you here? You know I hate your mind games. Oh? Is this how much I mean to you? Sarah grasped her chest and pouted. You're breaking my heart. Meanwhile, a puzzled Shatera whispered to the melancholic Arturo, what's her deal? I mean, she's making him so skittish. Sarah Kerrigan is a primal leader of boundless power. The fleet of hollows under her control is considered the largest this universe has ever encountered. Her ruthlessness has no limits. They praise her as the Queen of Blades. Arturo blanched. She is the Lord's kryptonite. After all, she is the one who taught him the art of war. Arturo. Naruto exclaimed. Bring Shatera to her quarters. I want to have a moment with Sarah. Your wish is my command. The immortal phoenix jolted up, took a swift bow before ushering Shatera out of the room. The reluctant Soul Reaper caught a one last glimpse of Naruto, who fixated an irritated glare at the Queen of Blade, before she was being escorted out of the chamber. The disgruntled blonde gritted his teeth when he was certain they were alone. What do you want, Sarah? Can I visit my favorite pupil? Is that a crime? Do you really hate me that much? I want nothing to do with you, wretched woman. After what you did. Your presence only serves to defile my mood. Naruto stormed towards the ebullient woman and sneered. I am not the man you used to know. I can break every bone in your body before you can draw your next breath, Sarah. I know you can. Sarah smirked. But that is not what I am here for. The god of Hollow furrowed his brow in annoyance. Then what are you here for? I know what you are after. The Soul Reapers, right? Let me help you. Give me this great opportunity to purge that repulsive race off our universe. Saratesia's eyes illuminated a sinister glow as she smiled in a psychotic manner. That has always been the reason of my existence. To watch Soul Society burn. Naruto grimaced. He knew everything about Sarah's backstory. She was once a Soul Reaper, serving faithfully under Shigekuni's command. She rose through the ranks, despite being a woman. She fended off discrimination against her gender, anathematization of her competence, and denigration of her beauty. Her deplorable colleagues were jealous of her accolades and betrayed her. They incapacitated her, violated her, and threw her near-dead body in an isolated forest. They walked away, satisfied for what they did. It was her rage that awakened something dark trapped inside her. Sarah's cries of pain were more frightening to her tormentors than the combined roar of 1,000 hollows. There were voices screaming inside her head, demanding vengeance. The pain of her torn flesh was all but forgotten. In the midst of umbrage, Sarah became the thing she swore to destroy. She became a hollow. And she never felt more alive. Sarah went wild. Blood-drunk. She slaughtered those who wronged her. Her anger consumed her, fueling her with more power. Her treacherous colleagues met their ends at the hands of a deranged, but reborn Sarah. With her newfound strength, she ventured into Hueco Mundo. She vowed to return to Soul Society one day when she could watch it burn. Naruto knew all that. Sarah was the very definition of hatred incarnate. She might even be uncontrollable when her thirst of blood became overwhelming. Tell me, Naruto, what is your goal in all this? We are unequal creatures. We were told that we start off small. But that is not true, because only the selective few are given the prerogative to climb the hierarchical ladder. It is only essential that the elites rear the pioneer generations to build a sustainable world where social values don't necessarily acknowledge violence as a legitimate solution to conflicts. That is my goal. Your goal contradicts the very context of your ambition. Sarah elaborated. You wish to build an empire for mongrels who can't even think for themselves. Hollows are barbarians. Always fighting. Always gluttonous. We can never coexist in harmony amongst ourselves. They need to be led by the lashes of horror. That is the truth. Naruto snorted. That's the thing. We are so used to the rapacious nature of our race, we lose sight of what we can do to change all that. I am not going to let you denounce my ambition just because everybody can't do it. I will never let somebody tell me I can't do something. Not even you. When people can't do something, they want to make others believe what is unachievable for them applies to others too. Sarah looked away, pondering for a moment. She pursed her lips, words threatening to spill out. Words that echoed her desire, but were tentatively held back. Naruto unsheathed his sword and poised the sharp tip at Sarah's collarbone. You left me all those years ago for your own ambition. Why should I trust you now, Sarah? Trust my rage, Naruto. To what extent? You can use me. You can kill me. You can do whatever you want to me and discard me afterwards if you please. Just give me this chance to fulfill my wish. Grant me my vengeance. The bodacious brunette pushed the blade aside and took a step forward. Caressing Naruto's cheek, Sarah cooed with a seductive tone. My army will be under your command, including me. An inscrutable visage masked Naruto's comely features as he narrowed his eyes. What if I want you to die for my sake? Will you offer your life for me? You need only ask. Retsu ambled with an aristocratic gait through the hallway of the 1st Division barracks. The soldiers who stood in her way were either smothered by her malevolent presence or paralyzed by her menacing glare. She made a sharp turn around the corner and stood before an infuriated Lieutenant Sasakide. Captain Unohana, I did not recall you making any appointment. I suggest you leave. On what authority do you have to order me around, Lieutenant? Nonchalantly, Retsu brushed past Chojiro, but the lieutenant spun around and seized her shoulder. You cannot enter. That is an order from Captain Commander Yamamoto. He is the authority, and you will respect it. The Shodai Kenpachi flared her killing intent into unbearable degree and spoke with disdain. 1. Don't you ever touch me. 2. Don't you ever touch me. You have no idea who the hell I am or what I am capable of. And I don't have the time nor the patience to tell you. Do not forget your place, am I clear on that? Chojiro had never been so afraid in his life. He finally understood why everybody feared the frightening woman standing impassively before him. It wasn't her gravitas that she exuded or her overwhelming spiritual pressure that bludgeoned primal fear into the hearts of weaker beings. It was her fearsome confidence that intimidates. The lieutenant nodded hastily. Why yes, Captain Unohana? Good. Retsu stormed into the office and deadpanned. I believe we have some business to discuss, Captain Yamamoto. What brings you here, Captain Unohana? Don't play coy with me, Shigekuni. You know exactly why I came here. Retsu calmed her rage and whispered. Why did you halt the funds that are supporting my division? Let me give you a piece of advice, Yuichiro. Don't ask for something if it's a burden to you when you get it. Shigekuni exclaimed, You did not provide me feasible reports about your transaction. You wanted funds to build equipment, facilities and chemicals, but you refused to disclose any other information. I can't let them be processed. If you want those funds, you write me a detailed report, and tell me why you need them. Retsu blinked. I see where this is going. You don't trust me. After what I have done for Suriidai, you still don't trust me. Shigekuni arched a brow. You are treading on a very thin ice, Yuichiro. Do not twist my words. You want to know something about me, Shigekuni? The Shodai Kenpachi stalked towards the Captain Commander's antique desk and snarled. I do not respond to threats. I make them. If you want a detailed report, I will gladly give it to you. But if you have the nerves to do inappropriate things behind my back without my consent, you will be reminded why I am once the Kenpachi. Shigekuni gritted his teeth. You are out of the line, Yuichiro. Retsu allowed a saccharine smile to grace her lips before she turned around and walked out of the office. And my name is Retsu. Don't ever call me that repulsive name ever again. Azura the Destructor trudged through the dry sands of the desert. The Sirocco night was harsh as a fierce sandstorm was approaching. The notorious Vasta Lord's body was emblazoned with illuminating marking, and he folded his golden armored arms. His mask reflected his berserker nature, and his white hair was wild and unkempt. He growled as he sensed two spiritual signatures approaching his location. Palma de Dios. Palm of God. The overwhelming pressure of Azura's abrupt assault had vaporized an entire mountain. Who are you? The Destructor examined the two intruders and he was intrigued. There were two female hollows who resembled humans, and they both wore black blazer and formal pencil skirts. Azura flared his otherworldly spiritual pressure and was surprised that the intruders were unfazed. What do you want from me? Impressive. You definitely hold up to your reputation, Azura-sama. I am Tia Haribel. The blonde bowed. This is my associate, Ada Wong. Ada was a raven-haired woman who possessed a voluptuous figure. She followed suit with her partner's exchange of pleasantry with the intimidating hollow, and a saccharine smile curled up at her lips. It is a pleasure to meet you, Azura. We have heard many great things about you. Azura sighed. I know what this is about. So the rumors are true after all. The two of you serve that man, huh? You mean the god of Hollow? Tia quipped. Yes, we do. In fact, His Majesty acknowledges your capabilities. He wants you to accept his invitation. Invitation? The Destructor cocked a brow. You mean recruiting me? Why? Ada nodded. Surely you have heard about what is happening in this desert. The God King wants to remodel this desert into a paradise for the inhabitants. The Dark King, the Dragon God, the God of War, the Vampire Queen, and many other superior beings who rule this realm has agreed to join our Lord's cause. Our King is a visionary. He only wants what's best for our race. God King? Paradise? Azura snorted. Fools! What makes you think there will be a paradise in this wasteland? This world will never become a paradise. It is a fool's dream. Paradise, you say? That is unachievable. Hollows would never be united. Idealistic fools like you makes me sick. I can assure you, Azura-san. It was at that moment Azura suddenly experienced primal fear. The fear of being annihilated was suffocating him. The gravity around his vicinity seemed to be thickened. Beads of cold sweat was forming rapidly on his forehead as he started to feel breathless. Azura slowly turned around and he bore witness to the embodiment of evil. It is not a fool's dream. The source of such intense malevolence happened to be a man in a white suit. Said man was beaming at him, but Azura was not deceived by his jovial looks. He swore he could see a sinister apparition of death lingering behind the man. Who the hell are you? My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I think most people refer to me as God. Naruto snapped his fingers and a set of table and chairs materialized before him. Please, Azura-san, take a seat. We have much to talk about. Captain Commander Yamamoto sat on a bench, situated on the stage within an atrium hall of the Shino Academy, and was attending a forum that engages with the freshmen. The principal of the military school was giving a formal speech to the trainees and announced, Please welcome our guests of honor. Captain Commander Yamamoto, executive leader of the Godai 13. Captain Nameya, the pioneer blacksmith of Soul Society. Captain Unohana, head of the newly established Research and Development Institute. Captain Karinji, chief of Suriidi's medical department. The freshmen filled the auditorium with applauses. The coordinator, who was an esteemed professor of the academy, sat beside the leaders and smiled. Thank you for coming here. It is truly an honor for the four of you to attend this seminar. No, it is our honor. It is a pleasure to see fresh recruits who are willing to fight for what's right. They are able to see how great Suriidii has become, and they are willing to be part of this prospering white city. Shigakuni responded. For that, these freshmen have my gratitude. Retsu resisted her urge to snort. So, let's start this discourse by addressing the most pressing matter at hand. The coordinator cleared his throat. 2 months ago, Soul Society was attacked by a hollow. A single hollow who had killed 700 soldiers, injured 3,000 honest patrons and cost Central $46 billion in infrastructure damaging costs. What do you have to say to this, sir? Captain Commander Yamamoto scoffed. Statistics, at the end of the day, are numbers. Those numbers do not account to factors. Those 700 brave soldiers died in the battlefield to defend a cause. Suriidii was built from an idea. Peace, justice, and equality. They did not die in vain. They died with honor. As for those injured soldiers, I am pleased to inform you that they are recovering and will be resuming duties soon. What about the collateral damage? If Shigekuni was masking his annoyance, he wasn't doing a good job because he was sneering at that oblivious coordinator. When Naruto Uzumaki, the hollow responsible for the decimation of half of Tsuruidai, waged war against us, we underestimated his strength. It did not occur to us that a hollow could possibly wield such a terrifying power. We lost 2 captains in the fight. Their lives were more valuable than the damaging cost. Every soldier's life matters to me. If you were to make me choose between losing those soldiers and paying the damaging cost all by myself for the rest of my life, I'll say, when do I start? That is my answer. The freshmen were inspired by the veteran captain's seemingly devotion to his subordinates. The Shodai Kenpachi had a different opinion. All right. Registering the tense atmosphere, the coordinator smiled uneasily. Well, let's talk about the countless contributions the Godai 13 has to offer. Please tell us what make this established constitution great. Code of conduct. Shigekuni answered without hesitation. Simple words like honor and integrity give what we are doing meaning and values. Captain Kirinji sighed as he was obligated to answer. Diversity and opportunity. The sky is the limit. If you are not exceptionally talented in the art of combat, why not approaching the medical field? What about the science field? Why not this and that? We are open to ideas and we are willing to cultivate them. Otsu smirked. Freedom and prosperity. Let's keep it as that, yeah? The audience cheered. When silence intervened, the professor stared anxiously at the silent Retsu. Captain Unhana, what is your input? The Shodai Kenpachi blinked. The gladiolus and water lilies in Tsuruidai are very nice. The recruits burst into laughter, but the coordinator was unsatisfied. I'm going to hold you for an answer, Captain. Retsu shifted uncomfortably. I guess whatever my colleagues have just stated hold credit to my answer. I don't have much to add on. Honor, glory, freedom. That's our motto. The persistent professor shook his head. I'm afraid I can't let this go if we don't get a true answer from you. We want a human moment from you. Balling her fists, the Shodai Kenpachi growled. The other captains grew anxious as they waited Retsu to provide her answer. Shigekuni expected his colleague to hold a firm ground and improvise a believable answer. Despite Retsu's defiance, she knew better to denounce Tsuruidai's worth. But he was wrong. The Godai 13 is not great. In fact, this constitution is far from great. The freshman gaped. Shigekuni was shocked. The coordinator blinked. So you're saying? Yes. Retsu interjected. Before the professor could defuse the tension, the Shodai Kenpachi shifted her attention sharply to Otsu and retorted. Tsuruidai is a nexus between stratocracy and totalitarianism. There is no plausible freedom in both government systems. And prosperity? Are you even hearing from yourself? Only those who possess powers prosper in such dire times. The nobles and the central parliament are the one who prosper, not the civilians living in Rukangai. The Shodai Kenpachi wasn't done yet. She turned to Tenjiro and gritted her teeth. I'm actually flabbergasted to know that you are able to keep a straight face and lie to the freshmen about diversity and opportunity. All soldiers are drafted to their respective squadron based on their strength, not their desire. They have no say in the drafting. If they cannot fight, they become cannon fodders. The Central 46 does not care if you were to die. In their perspective, it is your responsibility to die for their cause. This is the inconvenient truth. The recruits gasped. Retsu's words were so unsympathetic that most of them were frozen in fear. A soldier's primary job is to excel in combat. They do as they are told. They don't get a pat on the back for following orders. As a soldier, you either become stronger or you die in the battlefield like a miserable rodent. All of you are expendable weapons. The Shodai Kenpachi crossed her legs. Everybody, take a look to the man and woman sitting beside you. Take a close look at their faces. They might be alive at this moment, but soon, maybe a couple weeks later, they might not be. This is the reality of war. We are currently in a brutal campaign against hollows. Those monsters do not have a trinket of mercy. They will kill and slaughter. That is their job. Some of the freshmen were quavering, others were starting to reconsider their decision of joining the military. As commanders, it is our job to ensure you make it out alive from every mission you participate. Do not be delusional and believe that war is an opportunity for you to be a hero. Hollows are repugnant monsters, but let me tell you something, those beasts have been in war since the beginning of time. They are combat veterans. They don't care if they get hurt or die in the field. As long as they can kill you, that's all that matters to them. The raven-haired captain blinked. Casualty of war is inevitable. There will be some of you who will not see the end of this campaign. But believe me when I say that we can strive to become something beyond our potential. The Hollows only have one goal: our extinction. I don't know about you, but I'm downright pissed. And so do all of you. If you were to aspire to be freed from tyranny, then you must fight to fulfill that promise. Shigekuni stifled his anger and took the opportunity to interrupt. Moving on to the next question, Professor. The god of Hollow stood atop the monumental tower of his palace, and he was enraptured by the clamor of his people's praises. Thousands upon thousands of newborn Arankars gathered at the gargantuan plaza, waiting anxiously for their almighty king's speech and paying reverence to his supremacy. The fearsome Espada stood behind their monarch, and they marveled at the enthusiastic crowd. Rayleigh unstrapped his aluminium canteen from his belt and drank his scotch with glee. There's not been a gathering like this in our lifetime. Naruto ascended the steps to the pedestal of domination as he addressed his people. Welcome to Avalon, the city of dreams and paradise. The legion of Arankars cheered, but their silence swiftly commenced when their king raised his hand. The warlords from the four corners of this desert have pledged to stand by my side. All of us are sharing a common goal: to cleanse the wrongs this desert has wrought. To go beyond the capability of our race. To triumph. However, this goal is not without obstacles. Our enemies are the deadliest fighting force of all realms: the Soul Reapers. Smiling with unshakable resolve, the god of Hollow continued, however, they are betrayed by their own weaknesses. They are easy to taunt. Easy to trick. Soul Reapers? We will put their title to the test. Naruto surveyed his subjects and articulated his speech with a graceful eloquence. The Soul Reapers want us to be executed because of our existence. They cannot stand the potential our species harbor. And I tell you this: if we don't come together, we will crumble by the horrific contradiction of life called arrogance. A day may come when our courage fail, but if you submit, I guarantee you a week won't go by in your life you won't regret running away and letting those vile reapers get the best of you. We are born for greatness. Can't we all be great? Is that too much to ask? The Espada, who were clad in white suits, were confounded by the enthrallment of Naruto's propaganda. Could we not be empowered by the desire to be free and find in ourselves the strength to summon the courage to make this city livable? Am I asking too much? Is such a simple task beyond our reach? Because if it is, we are nothing more than sheep herded to our final destination. We all will meet our ends, but it is not this day. Not this year. Not this century. The blonde paced around his stage back and forth, allowing his people to digest his statement. We are not inferior. I stand here to lead you because I remember. Naruto paused, a tense silence intruded. I chose to fight. I chose to rise, not fall. I chose to see the day of tomorrow, not the twilight of death. Let no men forget what we are and what we can do. And make no mistake, what we do in life goes for eternity. The god of Hollow placed a hand atop a baluster and sighed. Let me tell you something. Right now, at this very moment, we are in hell. And life gives you options. We can either anchor to the norms of self-degradation before facing inevitable extinction, or we can fight our way to the light. I can't do that for you, even with all the powers I have. One man cannot change the entire world. But I look around myself and I see new faces. Faces that dare to dream and hope. Faces that yearn for truth. But you only learn how to appreciate what you are bequeathed with when you start losing it. Life is like that. So the bottom line is you either stay motionless or you fight. Insurmountable conviction was gleaming from Naruto's sapphire eyes as he bellowed, and I choose to fight. His people eulogized him and applauded with awe. Today, at the end of an old era, we will stand together as one unified nation. Today, we rescue a world from self-annihilation and tyranny. Today, we step into a new paradigm shift where our evolution brings us to new heights. Arankar. That word shall have a new meaning to all of us. Perhaps it is fate that brought us here to fight for our beliefs. Not from subjugation, but from destruction. We will fight for our right to live. To exist. As Naruto stood before his people, the Espada watched their god's flawless manipulation took shape. I will not let us die as individuals. No. We can no longer be consumed by petty differences anymore. It is no longer about yourself. It is about the man and woman standing right next to you that matters. The moment you have pledged your loyalty to me, you have become a proud citizen of Avalon. The responsibility of a nation is not in the hands of a privileged few. We are strong like an unstoppable juggernaut, and we are free from oppression as long as each one of us remembers his or her duty. The Espada unsheathed their weapons together and thrust them to the sky. Today, we shall declare as one voice. We will not let the Soul Reapers take what's rightfully ours. We will not go down quietly. We will live and fight, because we heal as one unbreakable nation. Today, We prove to ourselves and every creations out there that even though we were once hollow, we are somebody. The god of Hueco Mundo chuckled at his people's chant of approval. I promise you, the Soul Reapers will fall. All of Soul Society will fall. We will be victorious. That is our destiny. Shatera watched as everything unfolded before her. It was thrilling and horrifying at the same time. She had never encountered such an inconceivable mass of hollows before. If Naruto was to herald his horde of destruction into Soul Society, Shatera feared that might very be the apocalypse. Why am I summoned? Retsu's eyelid twitched. Chojiro tidied his stack of documents and stood up from his desk. I am sure you know why you are here, ma'am. I am not. It's all right, Captain Unohana. Chojiro-san, get out of the office. The adults are talking here. Captain Karinji interjected as he leaned against the concrete wall and folded his hands while the lieutenant walked out of the chamber. Whatever you need to justify, save it for another 8 seconds, Captain Unohana. I am sure we all have been there one point or another. The Shodai Kenpachi raised an eyebrow. What is going to happen in 8? What in the name of holy fuck were you thinking about? The furious Captain Commander Yamamoto stormed into his subordinate's office and glared lethal daggers at the nonchalant Retsu. His voice blared through the hallway, causing everybody to cringe. Do you even know what the hell you just said to those recruits? Do you have any idea the damage that you have done? Shigekuni, you may be a keystone to this foundation and a symbol of respect to the fledglings. But that doesn't make the cut of the calamity that just occurred. Shigekuni bellowed as his rage escalated. I tolerated your shenanigan countless times because you are a valuable asset to this organization. However, that doesn't give you the fucking right to defame Suriidii in front of those kids. I was just telling the truth. Guess what? Nobody likes to hear the truth. The veteran commander was seething. You are expected to answer accordingly to the script. I did. Shigekuni snorted. Really? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, you just told the public that the bureaucrats of Central 46 are to be thoroughly evaluated because they are corrupted. And they possess neither intelligence nor skills to lead Soul Society. Do you even have the slightest clue how far the ripples will go because of what you have just said out there? I only implied, Retsu retorted. Does it matter? The Captain Commander exhaled a deep breath. Tenjiro tried to tone down the tense atmosphere by adding his 2 cents. Central 46 will know about this. In fact, Central 46 might already know about this. There will be a possibility that they might just ignore the crude remarks, since it was Captain Unohana who said it. Alright, let's not kid ourselves. Shigekuni shifted his menacing glare at the medical officer. The size of the councilman's ego is bigger than my barracks. They will definitely not dismiss what she has just said. Words hold power. Powers that can influence minds. Those are things that Central 46 absolutely despises. Good luck trying to get someone to bail her out of this conundrum right now. The veteran commander switched his attention back to the Shodai Kenpachi and snarled. You have lost your value to me now, Captain Unohana. Captain Yamamoto Tenjiro tried to argue, but it was futile. As of this moment, you are suspended from duty. Retsu's eyes widened in surprise and she muttered. What? I will suspend you from duty and employ investigators to run through a thorough examination of all the reports, statements, and records that you have filed for the last decades, Shigekuni responded. I have to make sure that you have not made any accusations that might discredit Central 46's reputation. Until then, you will be relieved from your station. Your lieutenant will carry out your responsibilities. I did not accuse Central 46. I know that. You know that. Everybody in this room knows that. But why should the Central 46 care after what you have done? Shigekuni countered. You are suspended. Your salary will still be. I did not do anything wrong. I am only stating facts. You are suspended with Sal. I don't want your goddamn salary. Don't front off with me, girl. Don't call me girl. Retsu spat, much to her superior's chagrin. All right. Everybody. Tenjiro interrupted the heated conversation and exclaimed, calm the fuck down. Right now, we just need to think rationally. Shigekuni regained his bearings and glared at his subordinate. Our house was on fire. I managed to do something. Now, this obnoxious girl threw a can of gasoline into the fire. I'm afraid this is the best solution for both parties. If you don't like how I do business, then deal with it. You can't do this to me, the Shodai Kenpachi retorted. As long as I am the chief of this organization, I can do whatever the hell I want. It's time for you to know your place, Retsu. Shatara ambled towards the royal study chamber, but halted in her tracks. The vanguard who stood in her way perturbed her. Tia Harabel had been the king's faithful servant, and constantly kept a wary eye on her. Shatara wasn't oblivious that Tia did not approve of her. In fact, after Naruto's official ascension as the god king of his new empire, most of his subjects merely tolerated her presence in the castle. I want to see Uzumaki. For starters, please address the king with his appropriate title. And no, His Majesty is busy at the moment. Tia responded frostily. He has instructed me not to allow anybody to disturb his sanctuary. The Soul Reaper was persistent though. It is important. I have to meet him. Tia snorted. If everybody comes here and demands to see the king, should I yield and let them do whatever they please? No. You will see the king when the king wants to see you. Please understand your situation, Shitara-sama. You do not call the shots here. This is not Soul Society. Your rank as captain of the Godai 13 means nothing to us. Enough, Tia. Ada emerged from the grand hall and placed a hand on her curvaceous hip. His Majesty has anticipated Shitara-sama's arrival. Let her in. What? It's complicated. The black-haired secretary shrugged. The blonde sighed and took a tiny step aside. Shatara grinned triumphantly and strode past Tia with an air of indifference, much to the blonde's annoyance. When the Soul Reaper entered the king's opulent chamber, the peeved Tia let out a muffled shriek. That woman never fails to infuriate me. I don't even know what His Majesty sees in her. Ada smirked. She is just the king's pet. Don't get riled up by something as insignificant as her. At any rate, we have bigger fish to fry. Since Arturo is promoted, His Majesty wants us to nominate 2 more candidates to replace him as his assistants. The king wants the both of us to choose those 2 assistants on his behalf. I have a list. We got work to do. Let's go. The blonde secretary marched away. Naruto sat on the windowsill with a knee tucked close to his chest. His aloof gaze fixated upon the skyline of his metropolitan city. A glass of scotch rested on the center of his palm. The somber king was awfully quiet, something that is untypical of him. Shatara clenched her fists and took a tentative step forward. I need to talk to you, Uzumaki. I know. The blonde closed his eyes and let a soft sigh. I have already completed the first phase of my conquest. I will let you go tomorrow. It's not about that. The aristocratic Soul Reaper stared at the king with conviction gleaming in her eyes. It was that unfaltering fire in her eyes that somewhat captivated the king in the first place. I don't think I can help you. Naruto smirked. Why do you think I would allow a Soul Reaper like you to see the rise of my empire? I wanted you to see everything so you can choose wisely whose side you should be on. If I were to invade Soul Society, I would be conquering. Your people will be powerless against the force of my army. Their troops will be in disarray. I would not even spare them the luxury to maintain morale within their ranks. But you know that, don't you? I can't help you. Shatara swallowed. What you are about to do will jeopardize the future of Soul Society. It will be genocide. Millions of lives are at stake here. I can't be part of this. I can't be your accomplice. I am sore. I am sure that before you came to Hueco Mundo, you have read the reports. Naruto interjected. You probably heard from your colleagues about stuff. Advices. Your great and wise Central 46 was most likely behind the schemes of sending you here. When they enacted that edict, probably supported by radical absolutists like Genryosai himself, they were probably in a comfortable room. Soon, they will surely be in hell. The god of Hueco Mundo vanished and reappeared before the confused Reaper. He caressed her cheek and cooed. You were brave enough to fight for what you believe is right. I respect that. As opposed to many others who, if told to be deployed to a hazardous land filled with demented monstrosities, would have gone AWOL. Tell me, Shatara. How many different kinds of disgusting do you have to be to betray a woman who volunteered to fight and die for you? Reality struck hard and it pained Shatara to know that Naruto had just hit home run. The bombardment of facts were nauseating to the Reaper as she tried to recollect her bearings. Not one of your captains took a moment to stand by your side. They let you stand alone in this desert. They let you die in this desert. And guess who is cleaning the mess for them? Naruto bellowed. Me. I was the one who chose not to kill you. You know why that is? Because I do not reject loyalty. I would not betray my people to gain unsubstantial benefits. Soldiers would never do that. Leaders never do that. Witless bullies and hapless punks do it all the time. Shatara looked away. Her lips were trembling and her heart was pounding. You know there isn't a choice. There never is. The Soul Reapers will know what it means to be prey. I will hunt them down to extinction. But you, my dear, is a different story. The god of Hollow smiled as he surveyed Chitara's angelic features with an alluring smile. I am your salvation. Stand by me and be my woman. I am a Soul Reaper. That is a fact. Naruto's smile softened considerably. That is a fact in which I am willing to overlook. The god cupped Chitara's chin and gently raised it so her gaze could meet his. Remember those happy memories that you had in Soul Society. There are mere illusions. Fabricated and unreal. From now onwards, I will be the one who will give you those happy memories. Our happy memories. Chitara didn't know when she was seduced by evil. She didn't know how this vile and malevolent man made her so breathless. Whenever Naruto touched her cheek, her heart started pounding fast. Her lower lips were trembling as she tried to look away. Naruto's piercing gaze was so enchanting. Uzumaki-I. Don't deny what you faithfully want, Chitara. Naruto smirked. Because I am not denying what I want. The Soul Reaper succumbed to her inner desire and swallowed. What do you want? The blonde leaned forward, their lips were inches apart. Chitara, I want you.